Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Asians Return. We're playing a game, a story, a campaign in Frostmark with the Frostmark setting and system all made by me. There's a content warning for tonight of bad language and potentially, but probably not, some gore. With me, I have a wonderful cast of players. I got Aspen playing Acheron, a finesse build. How you doing? How you feeling?
Hello.
Then we got Lola playing Ginevra, devotion finesse priest. How you do?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. Done so much math. I'm ready to go some talking.
Lynn is playing our enigmatic Mulgravian scholar, which is an occult student build. Tanya, how you doing? And we also got Adrian playing Aaron, the mysterious golden-eyed soul oaf, divine oaf build. How you do, and welcome.
I'm mysteriously okay.
Also welcome, charismatic canine. What happened last time, gang? What did we do?
Oh my god,
God.
it was capital nervous breakdown.
I feel like everybody was just like,
I don't know
the
if you
entire
talked
session.
about. We all became best friends. It was real chill.
No tension whatsoever.
Yeah, we just got a lot of information, you know. Just
Solid night's sleep, no shenanigans
The
went
thing
down.
that I remember most
Yeah.
about last session is that Titania somehow forgot that her anti-imperialist essays are technically public record.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was super enigmatic and unhelpful, clearly. Did not just very bluntly out several of us.
Now, okay,
Ow.
let's start from the beginning. Ginevra, you were told some more stuff by the agent. For example,
I was told I have to take Aaron to the pass at Spruce Cross and the Broad Tankard Inn. And then the church agents will take over.
yeah, they will take care of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen to reveal their presence to him, that I should put a candle in my window.
Mm-hmm. You thought about that. Titania snuck into... No. Akron snuck into Titania's room and have the first of many nervous breakdowns. Where you revealed to Titania
went
that
into
you
the room
were
first
worried.
that they were worried, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I mean, it's a new location. I'm
New
shocked.
sights, new smells. Like a puppy.
Cat, you can't just move me.
Yes.
It was the next morning that the nervous breakdown happened after
Yes.
a mishap in a sparring session.
Yeah, you...
Have you guys just barred in the queen's, just like her living room lobby?
Yes.
Great job. Great
Well,
job.
it's a guest wing. It's a guest wing.
What else are we gonna start at
yeah,
the
you
proper
challenged each other for some light jousting. Ginevra watched all of it. We got to see Aaron's tactical and like more heavy approach, and Akron's quick and lift approach.
Technically, I was praying.
Praying
Yeah.
for someone to lose their shirt.
Oh my
Question
god! Ooh.
Ooh.
Then it became time for Ginevra to ask a bunch of personal questions, which she directed towards Aaron. You discuss some military background and the fact that he has a brother doesn't know the fate of. Ginevra told a little bit of a background in Odensia and her fisherman father and mother. And then a very tense scene happened about some eyes and some hair.
Don't touch the dew.
Not touching.
No touching. No touching.
Which prompted Aaron to escape to the stables. Go to the stables. Breakfast happened. More personal questions from Ginevra towards Acheron. About this time again, military training, where Acheron revealed that she has had a training of sort but not necessarily military.
It was very angsty.
Still reeling from her mishap.
Yeah. Don't touch the dew. Anything about the shoulders.
And then Ginevra talked a bit about her bowmanship and offered to teach Tia a bit. Yes.
I did purchase a light crossbow, so there might be some of that happening.
Nice.
Oh.
And then we met my favorite NPC, Borch.
You guys like Borch. Borch.
Well,
You need to say it like that, you know? Borch.
I believe in my notes, I literally like wrote him down as just rude man, and then got his name.
Very fashionable.
Yeah, you asked a bunch of questions to him where, you know, you learned that these are rough people, weapons are a message for better or worse, haven't heard anything from their allies, ruined families have been executed publicly after torture, the Raymores coming to power about 8 years ago, some harmless ships travel up the coast, and a few priests have actually made it across the mountain. You won't have any support once you're across the mountains. You will receive a royal letter stamp. And Seda Valley is dangerous territory where rocks slide and avalanches. Very quick TLDR of that whole conversation. You comment upon how the queen can be so lax with your security information. You pick up Aaron in the stables where you had a pretty... not tense, I would say passionate discussion of which road to take, if secrecy or transparency is a better way of tackling this issue, where Acheron were definitely on the side of secrecy, whilst Aaron was like, I will go as myself.
I just don't want to be tortured. Sorry, man. It was like an out there position.
You visit head advisor Albarate, who promises records of the priest Daniel. She talks about two bandit groups, which she also learned from Aaron, the Liberated Wolves and the Black Birds. You hear about the fort that has been, or being probably built as we speak, in the past, but how you can get through. But still, the slave trade is moving across the mountains just further north. Elka arrives. What did we think About Elka?
Oh, she was great.
Very subtle.
She was very interesting.
Very straightforward.
Yes. She immediately as she meets you, she threatens you all.
Very straightforward.
Very straightforward.
Very straight.
Yes. You hear the tale from Yevor of her, how everything was covered. They weren't allowed to talk to people. They were in their own little isolated wing in the Alderberg castle. But he was able to sneak away and was able to overhear the drop-off of a shiny orange rock, which he reported to Vedur, King Vedur, and they all say, let's go, and they jeet it off. But then Vedur had some bad feelings about stuff and told Yeva to go on ahead without him, and so he did, and now everybody is dead.
Sometimes it be like that, right?
Yes.
What can I say?
As one does.
Yes. Talks some more to Yevor, question him if he's a turncoat or if he's been tortured. You ask about the defensive capabilities of Alderberg Castle. You talk about alternative identities. Then Acheron tries to sneakily ask for a private meeting with Elka, which she doesn't allow you to do that sneakily. No. Titania, you have your nervous breakdown of the session.
Which honestly kind of came out of a misinterpretation of those lines, but
Yes.
that's fine. It's still in character because she's an anxiety-ridden little mess. So
Gonna go.
Tanya is
Oh,
not
well.
a good girl, as,
Got
as Alka would say.
Girl. So bad.
Acheron, you tell Titania to run up to the alchemist if something would happen, to just leave you behind. You will catch up. Oh.
Sure will.
Ginevra questions Aaron about his morality. More Ginevra questions, huh?
Yeah, fifth degree.
Very good.
Third
I mean,
degree.
just talking is some questions.
True.
Wonderful, though.
I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are pretty unusual. It's fair
No, it
enough.
makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
Where in the end, Aaron basically said he needed money and he just worked as a mercenary, and the slave trade happened mostly after his time with the liberated wolves. And Ginevra, you also apologize for your forwardness, trying to mend things.
Interesting.
What did you, Acheron, talk to Alka about in the courtyard?
Well, we had a bit of a dick measuring contest between spies, just talking about the efficiency of our organizations and such, and it was a lot of, well, my organization's not as bad as yours, I guess. And then after we found out that, or I found out, I guess, that, you know, spies are probably fine. There are agents in over yonder where we're going, so that's nice. We love to hear that. And that should Acheron and maybe Tia ever decide to piss off the church even further, the Bjornish might enjoy having a contest to piss off the church by harboring us. So that was fun.
Yes.
That was a fun offer made. Also,
Yes.
I did find out about the agent because she was like, "Were you climbing my walls?" And I was like, "I
Yeah.
This
You
time."
made a little contract that Alka wouldn't directly or on her own volition look into Tia more.
that too.
And in return, she wanted one honest answer from you.
That was not the question I thought she was gonna ask.
No, I really liked it. As a GM, I like that one. But you said no, it wasn't you, and Alka became concerned. And then, Erin, you have a bit of a strange dream in the end of the day.
Yeah, in my chair, dreaming about cold, windy peaks, and feeling nauseous, and
Blue gems.
painted black.
The best dreams.
The best dreams of being cold.
Oh, no, I thought that's not nice. Okay. I'm going to start there. Dar. Yada. Ooh. Let's see, where do I have you? Here you are.
Shenanigans time.
Music.
Yes, that's the most important thing. To start with, it's the most important. Set the mood. Just need to ban somebody in the chat. There we go. Okay. The main courtyard of Oakhome Castle is bustling with activity as 4 individuals make their final preparations for the journey ahead. Underneath a steady rhythm of summer rain and a heavy red and black cloth held aloft by 4 4-meter tall oaken sticks balanced by 4 servants, you stand with your horses bridled and saddled. To the side are 2 oaken tables where you can confidently pack your backpacks and saddlebags. And each of you have been given a stable boy or a girl to hold your horses still, and an additional servant each to run errands from you. It's all quite pompous and a little bit awkward. At some point in your packing preparations, 2 scribes had arrived with heavy black circles underneath your eyes, handing over a number of documents in a waterproof leather tube with a strap attached to it. Inside, to briefly explain, is maps of Olwood, the list of civil servants, and a copy of the witness statement of Priest Daniel. When Titania inquires about the folklore information that she had requested, the scribes adopt worried looks on their faces. A moment thereafter, before more inquiry could be made, a procession of priests come through the gate with their white and golden robes, flowing banners of Rian's colors and symbols, a massive stick with a metal golden sun on top, and underneath a white cloth held aloft by, once again, 4 sticks and 4 servants, which underneath hosts Cardinal Lumina, striding in all her glory, this time wearing her full ceremonial garb. The scribes cast anxious gazes their way, then hastily apologizes to Titania and scurries away. After Cardinal Lumina is taking up a dignified position, just right of the majestic flight of stone steps that lead up to the Ocom's official front door, she gently beckons for Ginevra to come closer.
I will.
You join Cardinal Lumina underneath her little umbrella, you could call it. Little might be the wrong word though. And you know that you're in a circle of friends where you stand. Priestess Ginevra.
Sorry, I've missed what did you say where we are?
You've just walked away from the little packing area with your friends, with the horses and all the servants. Beside the large oaken doors that lead into the castle that are closed right now, to a corner of it where all of these priests with all of these banners and the sun symbol and Cardinal Lumina underneath the umbrella stands.
Okay.
Priestess Ginevra, I am happy to see you spry this morning.
Very much so. How are you?
Well, you know, these old bones still work, but they give me ache and woe sometimes. You know how it can be. No, you don't actually, but you will know. Hopefully.
You make it seem easy.
Well, when you got the will and passion of Rian in you, there's very little you can't do, dearie.
Absolutely.
Now, come closer, dear. I've heard news. Very terrible news. And I wonder sometimes what those inquisitors are up to when they, know that I have been blessed by Rian, by leaps. If all of us just turned right now and would attack that man, you surely would be dead. Yet no, they will have to do it their way with so much subterfuge and curtains. Ginevra, you need to promise me to be careful. I don't like you being on the road with that thing for such a long time.
You are very kind, but I've been on the road for a decade now, and I will be okay. As long as I'm under Rian's light, I'll follow his path, and I can't go wrong if I do that.
That's true. Very good. Well, just follow the orders of those clowns, and I'm sure that everything will be fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have faith.
Indeed, Rian will protect us from this incursion of our peace.
He always has.
But I told them that a mission still needs to happen and we have a priestess to take care of. So after the deed is done, you may take any number of them who survives the ordeal with you on your journey as bodyguards. Whatever you see fit.
Understood.
Good. Any doubts or questions that I can alleviate for you? Priestess, before you go.
I always welcome any advice. Have you ever dealt with something like this before?
I have, in fact, a long time ago. Ah, those were the days. Guard your heart, Geneva. They have tricks that might make them seem enigmatic and mysterious and curious. But ultimately, you need to remember what they truly are inside. Rotten! Absolutely rotten!
Thank you. It's useful to know. And what if the others don't wish to come with me after what happens?
Wait, can you repeat that? I didn't hear the start of it.
What if the others that you said, if any who survive, I may take any who survive with me as bodyguards. What if those who survive don't wish to come along as bodyguards after what happens?
Well, at least one of them needs to stay and clean up the mess, sister. But they have absolutely no say in this. It is my country, and I decide what's going on within it. And if I tell those agents that you require protection, they will follow order.
Okay. That is reassuring. Thank you for your support and looking out for me.
Of course. Now, let me hold a personal prayer just for you, dear. And then ramblings about Geanor, ramblings about Rian.
Oh, one more question. Is there any else in the parish, I guess, who, or the clergy, who are aware of this mission?
The mission. I've taken precautions there and made sure that only my personal retinue and apprentices, and of course my under-cardinals and the bishop here, darn that man, know of it. Just to make sure that information will not spread from untight lips.
And if anything goes wrong, if I'm unable to fulfill the task?
Well, you will be welcomed in the halls of the sun as a hero. And we shall try to find another way into that Rian-forsaken corner of Allwood.
All right. Rian be with you.
And be with you, especially, my dear. And then, ramblings about Rihanna and Gano. Oh no! What? I accidentally clicked away. I'm back. I can't. Take me back. Roll 20. All right. And eventually you rejoin your friends. Underneath the red and black cloth, together with all those servants and the horses and the packing.
While we're packing,
Mm-hmm.
after this, letting a couple of minutes pass, Akron's gonna quietly walk over. Quietly, just because they walk quietly, they're not trying to be sneaky. Walk over to Ginevra and just goes, here. And they're holding out a little pouch made of cloth. It seems like about the size of a palm. It has like a long cord on it.
What's this?
It's for hiding a symbol of Rihanna if you want to, a necklace or something. If you keep it under your shirt or under your belt, no one will find it. I thought, since, you won't be able to outwardly wear something, you might want to have a way to hide it. It's clear that I don't get along with the church, but I know what it's like to lose what's important to you, so while I don't like the church, I respect your devotion, so you should have a way to keep something on you. It's safer than just hiding it in your pocket.
Thank you, Akron. It's very thoughtful of you.
Well, we're gonna be stuck together for like a while, so let's call this an investment in trust.
Alright, I can do that. And I'll put it on around my, I'll put my, necklace into it.
And Akron will just go back to packing.
Before you go, she'll say, I'm definitely sure that we've met before. Can you really not remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do I believe her?
Do you wanna roll for it?
Don't make me. This isn't gonna end well. We can try if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Is
that empathy? Is it empathy?
I don't suppose it could be deception, or the body language one, could it? Just by not displaying any body language, keeping myself.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you just said I don't know what you're talking about. I'm basing it off of. Does that sound? Does she sound like she's telling the truth when she says that?
Oh. Ew.
What
do you say, Bexxy? What am I rolling?
If you're not specifically like utilizing your body language heavily here, you're just relying upon the confidence in your voice, then manipulation and plus either deception or persuasion, depending upon what the truth is.
The truth is we do know each other, but out of character. But,
is my role an empathy manipulation one or?
Empathy manipulation is trying to change somebody else's emotional state, like seducing somebody or interrogating somebody, riling up a crowd. That's usually empathy manipulation.
Yeah. Is it perception? Or
empathy composure is being vigilant about emotional states of people around.
If I am though trying to keep like my body and my voice like as unreadable as possible, I'm really trying not to make this manipulation.
Oof. How bad is your manipulation?
Well, sometimes when you have nothing to go on by the inflection of your voice, then it's manipulation.
That's a 22.
You can try. So, manipulation, deception then, I guess.
Okay, I have a shot now.
Oh,
that's so close!
Alright. then I want to tell Lola what she notices, or what Ginevra notices.
I have a thing. There's too little in there for. Fine, I'll give you this.
Yeah,
There's too
like,
little in there.
exactly.
It's obvious that it's intentional. The extreme lack of tells and emotion. Maybe so it's clear that they're.
It's clear you're lying.
I'm not giving you stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
For
There's
what
a
reason?
Yeah, I don't know the reason why, but I know that for some reason you do remember me, but you don't want to say that you do.
Yeah, I'm not giving you stuff for some reason.
No,
But
that's all I need to know.
Yeah, Akron just kind of shrugs and goes, I don't know when we would have met, but
Well, you said you grew up in Crow Hill, did you not?
I did. Far from. Actually, I guess I don't know where you trained, but I imagine it wasn't where I grew up.
Where did you grow up in Crow Hill?
Oh God, sorry, 1 second. Laura, I
It's okay.
The name of the mountain range. It was Highmont, right? That's like the town near the mountain range. That's not the town I grew up in, but that's the closest.
Yeah, the closest, biggest place. What was it called again? I remember.
Highmont, right by the mountain.
Yes, yes.
So Akron will say, the town I grew up in didn't have a name. It was a small mining village, is dramatic as a description, full of people too unimportant to have a name for their town, but it was near Highmont, or that's the closest place with a name at least.
I don't think I ever went to Highmont.
With unimportant people, so I doubt a priestess in training would have been.
That might be exactly where a priestess in training would go.
We didn't really have priests running around there, not unless there was an accident or we needed someone. People didn't really care about us.
Did it feel lonely? Or did it feel like a close family?
Both at times, I guess. I mean, the only people running around were those crippled from accidents or too sick to be able to stand, or those who were lucky enough to live long enough to not be able to work in the mines anymore, or those too young to work, maybe 11 or so. Lots of rambunctious kids, but so in a way, everyone looked out for each other because there was no one looking out for us.
I'm sorry about that. It sounds exactly the kind of place where priests should go if there's accidents are so frequent.
I guess that's just the thing. Sending a priest there would require caring, and nobody knew about that place.
I guess there are a limited number of us.
Sure, I'm sure that was the reason.
Did you give it a name? The people who lived there?
No.
It's just home.
Just the place where we worked and died.
Is that why you left?
I left because I was orphaned.
How did you make it being orphaned and going out on your own?
I was picked up by a woman who ran a group home for unwanted children no one would miss. And from there, well, it was just kind of a matter of survival.
An orphanage in Crow Hill?
Yes. So I guess maybe we would have seen each other there.
Maybe.
Maybe I just look like this person you met, or that you knew.
It's not just Never mind. Sorry for bothering you about it.
Call it an investment in trust, right?
Right.
Maybe you can tell me about your friend sometime, the one I remind you of.
Maybe.
Ekron will turn back to their stuff.
All right. You do a little bit more packing. Aware that they are, disturbance around you. So it's not much pleasure talking. It's more business.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit unused having so many people around you that you're just supposed to ignore. But then, at a fashionably late hour, a fanfare, is heard as the double heavy oaken doors are seemingly opened on their own to reveal Queen Minerva standing in the middle. On the threshold between them, doesn't want to step out in the frame. And head steward Borch Rabinov just behind her. At the same time, another 4 servants come running out with another cloth cover for your heads, meant to escort you from the packing area that you're in right now towards the stone steps and the visage of the queen. So you just, step underneath this moving umbrella that takes you up towards the steps. The queen nods to all of you in greeting, expecting something in return. An immaculate bow from Akron, and polite from Titania and Ginevra, and resolute straight back from Aaron, I presume.
Just relaxed, more not necessarily resolute.
There's a very furrowed brow coming from Borch towards Aaron, but the queen ignores it. May your journey be swift, safe, and successful. Remember what is at stake. As an offering to Ryan to bless your task, I will donate 200 platinum to the orphanage of Saint Donatello. Lumina bows towards the queen. Ryan welcomes this gift graciously, your majesty. The queen, Minerva, nods back towards her, slow, respectful nod of her head, and then she just twists her head towards Borch behind her, who steps over to Ginevra, holds out his hand as he reverently reveals an ornate wooden stamp wrapped in white linen and places it in Ginevra's hand. Priestess Ginevra, the royal seal of the queen. Do not misuse it and do not let it fall into the hands of our enemies. Understood?
Understood.
Yeah, he nods with a small smile. For the first time you've seen it. Steps back behind the queen again. And then the queen just simply holds up her hand in farewell to all of you. Go in the light of Rian.
Before we continue, I just want to ask, Titania's looking around for those scholars who abandoned her earlier before giving her the information she wanted.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you're getting it.
I don't think I'm getting it. I like to ask. Because she's been distracted the whole time. Like, where? No.
It's just this awkward.
Where's my information?
It's just this awkward scene of, the queen still holding up her hand in the middle of her, like, farewell. She was interrupted.
Oh, she's not. This is more to the GM. Like, the
Oh,
Tanya's
okay.
like
She's
head on a
just
swivel, looking around. Like,
Alright, okay, I see.
before.
You don't see them.
Yeah,
Don't say
Akron's
that.
just gonna quietly step over and like side whisper, just be like, I don't think you're getting your books, T. I really don't. Yeah, again. What were you expecting? It wasn't softcore related. Haven't you learned it's porn or nothing in this place?
For some inexplicable reason, the queen can't really understand herself. Like, there's a bit of a vein that pulsates.
Go on.
Go in the
Akron just
light.
look sorry.
I'm the queen! Shut up! Go in the light of Rian. And then she promptly turns around. The guards and Borge just goes with her, and promptly the two heavy oaken doors are closed.
I wonder if the light of Rion can help you find your books, Tia.
You know what? It might. Just on occasion.
I have a very, very important question before we set off.
Mm-hmm.
Do these horses have names, and what are they?
What do they look like? Did I get a white one?
Oh my god. Here we
You're
go
right.
again.
To your head, Aaron, you literally have a horse that you designed.
Yeah,
don't
you have the design
Yeah.
horse with
Alright,
a name.
okay.
You
D&D.
get average ponies. They're all brown. Their names are all Dave. Yeah.
No, I want a silver bell or a white one.
It's a freaking draft horse. What do you want? It's nothing
No.
special.
Okay,
I
okay.
wanted to have a
I want to be
name.
silver.
Alright, okay.
What?
So who is first? Who's first?
We can let Lola go first. She's really
Okay, for Lola.
Horsegenerator.com. Let's go.
Yeah, I already have it up.
I
Already have it up. Okay, listen to this. Listen now,
Name my
okay?
horse. I literally already put a name I wanted in my notes.
Order in my court!
No.
Yeah.
Hush!
What happened when we had our first test run, like when we got horses? I got so excited.
Okay, listen up. Okay, so, Ginevra, you have a chestnut mare, a brave 11-year-old with a star marking on her face.
I think she's got a star mark.
And she also has 4 leg markings. Consists of a heel on her right foot, a stocking on her left, and nothing on the right hind leg, and nothing on her left leg. So the front legs basically have stockings. And you get to name her.
With this pleasure and fear.
You can change horses with each
Chestnut
other.
mare.
Chestnut.
She's got socks on. What do you want?
Yeah.
I want it to be silver, that's all I care.
I can paint it later.
When you guys are getting silver, I'm swapping with you.
I mean,
I get us over when we can trade.
it has also has a star in the face. Hey.
Yeah, I know, I like that. but I want
Okay.
it to be silver.
2 front stockings and a star is kind of cute. Okay, let's go for Akron.
Surprisingly detailed generator.
Yeah.
Good one.
All right,
the
you
first
I
time.
hope
You
that,
got-
that goes into the rolls.
Akron got a chestnut stallion, excitable 6-year-old with a stripe
Oh.
marking on his face. Dope. And then
They're brother and sister.
sure. No, wait. One is 11. The other one is 6.
Yeah.
But
so-
from the same family, perhaps. Yeah.
Same family. Yeah. That's how brothers and sisters work.
For 1 second, my head went litter when I thought about horses, and then I went, wait, no, that's wrong. That's wrong.
That's
eggs.
horrifying.
And then lastly, to Tanya, you got a Bay Tobiano stallion. I don't know what color that is, but I will find out. Calm, 5-year-old with a star and a stripe.
Fabiana looks like a cow.
What is a bay
Like
That's
Tobiano?
so cute. Ah, adorable.
Spotted colors.
Tobiano.
Wait, we gotta name these?
All right.
I haven't named mine.
Wait,
It's-
stallion, so male, I think?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's gonna change the name.
Yeah. So it's two stallions and one mare here. Okay.
But the lady.
And Titania's horse is calm. Acheron's horse is excitable, and
Perfect.
Ginevra was brave.
Brave. Yeah. I hope that goes into the rolls.
Yeah, sure. I will give
Oh,
a little bit
wonderful.
extra resolve
Yeah.
for your horse.
I love the dichotomy of Acheron having an excitable horse while they are just
what
like,
the- what's going on with this creature? Can somebody shield this dude out? You should swap. And you'll be-
Considering your weight
That's
too,
too much.
Acheron, that might be a lot of horse to control.
Yeah.
oh, it's Jamie.
Anyway.
I'm very distracted.
By horses. Just saying. All right. You are basically free to go whenever you're done. If you have any more errands, now's the time.
Will I be able to read this priest report whilst I'm on the horse? Or is that gonna like disadvantage me for trying to?
Oh,
Travel.
well, it's raining, so
Probably don't want to read it in the rain.
no.
Yeah, right.
So you can read it here if you like huddle up together in a friend circle underneath the umbrella.
Has Aaron already managed to do his errand to the taverns to deliver the message or not?
You did have time yesterday to do that, but it's
Sure.
some very brave scoundrels to sit in a pub in the capital. So,
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be in a pub. More just like following some whispers, some recommendations, like following a trail.
we need like a streetwise roll here.
Hacking streetwise.
Heckin' streetwise. We're gonna do
What's a street? God.
what? We're gonna do a really cray thing. We're gonna do subterfuge with composure.
Oh, did you want help with
With composure, you mean cunning?
No.
Huh?
Oh, unusual.
Atypical.
Yeah, is Acheron able to help him in this?
this? Yeah, I'm willing to help you. I can be CD.
All right. Are Aaron like willing to welcome help?
I mean, I need his help to get my salt, so we'll consider it a trade if Acheron wants.
Your what?
Aaron, I had to get saltpeter. Don't question it. But I'm willing to help you find your shady runner if you'd like.
What?
It's for food preservation. We're hunting, right?
Doubt. By a
Want help
shovel as
finding
well.
Rations.
Press X to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can come along. That's fine. They're getting to know each other. It's not going to put up a fuss about it. He's just going to go looking for someone who knows about where the very large unit of liberator wolves will be, and to pay them.
Okay.
Whether they can find them. He'll write in a note that what he's going to say, because he's with Acheron. And
I mean, I can totally back off if you want. It's just that Acheron would have told you that they have experience, like, people watching is too casual. Profiling, I'm not sure is a word that exists yet, but the
Oh,
idea
that's fair enough.
is the same.
I mean, your passive perception is very high, so it's like you're going to be able to pick it up anyway.
Yeah.
But he will write in this note to Gregor.
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
I mean, yeah, together, considering both of your backgrounds, you are definitely able to find a shady enough person and who wants coin and can go into the wilds to do this.
Sure.
Pass off the note.
So the note will read, the gold wain arrives at Spruce Cross in 7 days.
On horseback, it's 6, as you know.
6, yeah.
Yes,
6 days.
6 days.
7 days scrolling, cross out.
6
days.
Yeah.
Just, cater for traffic.
Real quick,
Google Maps.
just for like continuity and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Can the liberated wolves read?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, just making this wasn't like me being rude. Like I'm genuinely curious the literacy rates of the world.
No, they're not like just a bunch of ragtag people that just, came together one night and say, "Hey, let's go rob some people." No, it's an organization.
Well, no, they're like a bandit city, but
they're
like
pretty,
it's
well, there are ragtag people. Like the vast majority, probably of the Liberty Wolves can't read or have trouble reading, but definitely, I mean, Gregor was a ex-guard captain, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Sorry, just making sure. I didn't want it to be like, unfortunately, you sent a note and none of them can read.
No, he knows Gregor can read. He knows Gregor can read.
Okay. Cool.
Not
Yeah, then
that
I'll
bad.
look out.
Okay. And yeah, you do this little errand. How much money do you send with this career? How much do you pay them?
How much would he know how to pay, I suppose, given currencies and stuff? He has some gold, obviously, from the Queen giving him some, so I think a gold coin is probably enough to get them running at a quick pace.
Yeah. Meow. Let me double check. Get a feeling for it in services.
Discord.
2 CP per mile? Should be probably km.
Oh, that's more than enough. That's like
Yeah.
40 kilometers. That's probably enough.
Yeah.
So gold coin.
Gold coin works. Gold coin works.
Alright. Click it.
The catch it.
And, quick scrolled note. And then he will cut his thumb and then just like smear it on the bottom. Smear the blood on the bottom.
Blood tax.
And then take a nod to Akron and say, "Salt, you said."
Yeah.
And then time fast forwards and we.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just.
Yes.
We're on a horse.
Yeah.
We're on a
I
horse.
just gotta. I mean, it is technically used for preserving food, so I didn't lie.
No. You're able to.
Aaron doesn't really care at all. He's like, "Oh, you want salt? Go get salt."
You go and get saltpeter.
Would I have left my, my vestments and my prayer book and etc. in the castle or with the church or?
You could have, gone in the afternoon back to, Oakheart Basilica and left it there.
Okay, yeah, so I left it at the church.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of like maybe the first time that you see Ginevra looking very different and none of her usual makeup, without her headband, just in a loose, light white linen top and a white similar material skirt, still very kind of flowy, but very marked difference from all the golden finery she had before. But nevertheless, now you can see her amber eyes clearer, and they still kind of have a sort of presence, a shine to them, and her kind of sharply angled fringe still kind of covers her forehead. But yes, perhaps a little bit less of the intimidating and a bit more soft. Still, maybe even more clear as her boniness. But again, with the loose clothing, it's not super easy to tell.
Okay.
Yeah. Akron has also switched to the first outfit I ever drew them in, for those of us here that have seen that, where it's the white, or, kind of off-white shirt. It's like really loose, and it's much more chill, like compared to the bodyguard kind of outfit, where it's very dramatic and dark, and like there's a lot of like hard edges. It makes them look a little smaller and like definitely a lot less threatening. It's the aura about them, I guess, for lack of a better word, is very different. But also, just because I like to describe the parts, because you didn't get to see their arms before, and now you do. Special. Their forearms are completely, or almost completely, unfilled in with like tattoos. They do have one here that is I've described in the doc. I think I've sent to everyone with like their tattoos described and stuff. It's a section of, I've moved it from here to there, but it's a section of blue flowers with a negative space butterfly and the name Medea through it, with a golden arrow cutting through the background. And on this one, they just have like the outlines of, it looks almost like wind or bird designs. But the thing that really sticks out is their forearms are shredded with like kind of scars that look the newest on their body, maybe still healed over past several years, but there's a lot happening there. And that's the significant stuff to describe about their appearance being different.
All right. And then we have Aaron just looking like Aaron.
Yeah, same clothes. Same very mundane stuff.
All right. Okay.
She still has her plait. Still very long, big, thick plait. That stays the
I
same.
love it.
So, road trip time. I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This might be a good time if I can request just a quick bathroom break.
Oh, we can take a break now. We take a break now
Yeah.
before we go.
Break.
Before we leave
All right.
Archon.
Cool.
Break time.
Break time.
Break dance time.
Yes. To those watching me in chat, hey X, if you get Will to watch the stream, I will name my horse Bucephalus. So there you go. There's your challenge. Get Will in on this.
Bucephalus.
Yeah, it's a running joke in our friend group about horses named. Because there's a really funny thing where if you look up the name Bucephalus, like the first thing that comes up is like a horse or something similar. So it's like a big joke in our friend group that horses are just named Bucephalus. So.
Always.
So you know how there's like the name or like pet name like affectionate or derogatory. We'd always like say Bucephalus horse. So
I would also say welcome. Welcome. Happy to have you. Third tier imagination. Oh god, what a good name.
Give a second, actually. I am going to use this now.
Have returned.
Have returned. On the road again.
Yeah.
Stay with
Again,
me on
have you
the
been
road
on the
again.
road?
Yeah, I'm a missionary. I'm always on the
Ah,
road.
true. Okay. No, in that sense. But in the campaign, it's the first time on the road.
Wow. Ginevra's really going for the throat with these secrets. I was like, how long is she gonna wait to bring this up? No time. Immediately, actually.
Well, you behaved in a particularly unlike you way. So it's like
It's an investment in friendship. I'm just
really
trying
remind
to
me of
make you
someone
feel
I
bad. trying to make you feel bad for what you're planning to do. You dirty traitor, I gave you a bag to keep your Rion son in. Feel the
Think I
shame.
could be bought with a bag.
I think it's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
The bag is just
We'll
the
see.
start.
We'll see.
See about that?
Got a week?
Oop, something's beeping. Actually, 1 second. We thought we were ready. I'm a fool.
Ah, you're a fool.
Remind me, what type of horse did Tanya get? I wanted to look up what it looked like.
A bay Tabiano?
Yeah.
They're
Tobiano?
kind of like, I think, painted horses where they have like the 2 different colors and the.
Yeah, it's basically, it looks like, it's like a chestnut color. And
Gotcha.
then you just have this negative, like, stark white coloration. Which is pretty cool. And then a star stripe. It's kind of fun. We have a star, we have a stripe, and a star stripe.
Oh yes, that's a unnamed horse.
Oh, and we
What is,
basically also have, we have the almost complete chestnut in Acheron, and then we have the chestnut with white socks, and then we got the chestnut with some white color, and then we got the full white Frisian. It's like a color spectrum from chestnut to white.
Nice.
Alright. Are we no fools? No? We're done being fools? We good?
Yes. Well, I'm never done being a fool, but as much as I can be.
Good.
Same.
Okay. There's no fanfare or parade as you leave the castle and travel through Okart. After all, this is supposed to be a secret mission. To the eyes of Okart, you should look like rich travelers. Curious rich travelers. But there aren't many on the cobble streets of Okart to see you pass anyway, as the morning is already underway. Most are busy at work at their respective trade. The saws are busy gnawing into woods at the sawmill, leather is busy being stretched in the tanneries, chisels are busy working wood and stone, and drills are already being shouted in the military training camps around Okart. And no one likes to particularly linger in the rain anyway. Minutes thereafter, you leave behind the structured and orderly wooden stone town of Okart with an excess of pubs behind. The gates are a quick ordeal, a flash of paper, and you're through. When change the sound of Steph.
Travel, the journey begins.
Perfect. And a picture change as well. There are homesteads on the side of this wall as well. This area is more poor, but sprinkled on your journey towards the south are several well-traversed branching roads leading off to an industry center, or another group of houses clustered into hamlets. There might be a training ground here, a tannery there, a cleared horse field over yonder, all nestled in between the pervasive greenery of the old berry woods. The roads are here quite well traversed. You pass by transports of different kinds at a steady pace. Carts of different sizes with huddled woodlings from the rain, drawn by oxen, donkey, or draft horse. But as the morning passes you by, the frequency of human industry decreases and decreases in occurrence, slowly turning the woods more wild with each passing step your horse take. You wanna have a little shitty chat? We can do that. Otherwise, we just let time traverse.
More
Tanya's.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Titania's bemoaning the fact that she can't bring out her books because it's raining.
Yes.
She's a little upset, but I think I might save it for later. Never mind.
Okay.
Or
Okay,
writing.
okay.
Right.
Yeah. Kloppity klops.
When we kind of finally get out of the more populated area,
Mm-hmm.
Ginevra will finally kind of follow around her plait and take it out and kind of release her hair down its waves. Probably was particularly wavy now in the rain, and just kind of every now and again just put her head up to the sky and feel the rain on her face. Maybe even catch a few on her tongue. You can tell that she's seems particularly enjoying the ride and the being on the road.
Acheron, seeing this, will smirk to himself, say, "Careful, sunshine. That's how it all starts. Corruption will get you.
What do you mean?
The second you let go of that pure, pristine image, get corrupted. It's so sad. We don't want people to think that you're not perfect."
It's not what you wear. It's about what's inside. How do you feel?
I see. And how does it feel being that stuffy all the time?
Exhausting, honestly.
Maybe there's another way. You should let loose a little more often.
Well, why do you think I chose to be a missionary? I get to be a little bit more free to explore different horizons rather than being within the same four walls, the same clothes all the time.
Don't like being cooped up?
Does anyone?
Touche. Fair enough.
Her hair. Probably goes. I mean, it probably kind of goes down to the horses, touching the horse's back. I think she's sitting.
Akron's
A
also
lady of
enjoying
Camelot.
Akron also looks to be enjoying the rain somewhat.
All right.
Imagine Aaron to be up front, just like leading.
Titan's probably like close to the middle, letting Acheron take care of Acheron and Aaron take care of security, so to speak.
Yes, I'm keeping my eyes peeled for danger and flowers.
I'm also probably watching Aaron as he rides, just as someone I know who seems to be on a horse a lot. If there's something particular way that he seems when he's with his horse, riding on his horse in the roads.
Oh,
Oh.
shoot.
Make me. You never make me animal handling with composure.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard that called.
Definitely not
composure.
all animal handling.
With composure, yeah.
Not even okay with composure. That's better.
Wow!
Oh my god, Geneva, your roll.
Yeah.
Consistent.
I've had 6 months of being super low, so now I'm owed 6 months of being super high.
Hell yes.
That's how it works.
Right.
That's how balance works in my life.
I mean, you have seen good writers before in your life. I mean, you have definitely seen Sacred Arms Knights. And they're really good writers as well. But the more you observe Aaron and Celia, you get the distinct feeling that there's a deep bond between the two.
Like, nice deep bond, or like something fishy going on here, kind of deep bond.
Well, you know, you can't really say, but they seem to be in sync with each other, and that would suggest that they are extremely good friends, which like 1 in a million kind of chance, or there might be something else there. You're not entirely sure, but they are communicating in their own way.
You can probably see that by like Zelia predictably maneuvering herself on the road to not have like a branch be in Aaron's face, or the weight distribution based on slippery rocks and things like that. It's almost predictive, similar to how really good friends finish each other's sentences.
And do I see Aaron like saying instructions to Zelia, or is he just lips closed, just riding, and it just happens?
Very
It's
seldomly,
what-
right?
Sorry?
Quite seldom, I would presume.
There's no conversation or whispering or anything like that that you can hear. No. He's almost.
Can I see it though? I don't need to.
But you see it from the back. You can see that he's not really even holding the reins. He has a military saddle, and it's almost like that bond is almost like as if he was walking himself. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Probably finds that quite fascinating to watch.
He's not disturbed in any way in terms of like the rain. He's not griping like Titania. He's not like enjoying it like Akron.
It's just walking as if it was him.
It's just another day. Everything is just very regular.
I
The
mean,
only
like,
sound that you get from him is like the rain like hitting off his scale mail, like ding 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 ding.
It's just kind of like casually in one hand, like just going along. Cool.
I think outwardly enjoying it's a little. I may have described it badly. For Akron, outwardly enjoying it is just they look less like they're ready to like explode. You know, less like wound spring and more just like, yeah, we're chilling on horses. It's raining.
A bit more floppy.
Just chill vibes. It's kind of. I think Akron just kind of is like.
There's a swagger to her.
Depending on how the horse is going, Akron seems pretty mellow to let the horse kind of trust the horse to know not to step in deep holes and stuff, and will like kind of nudge it if it like starts to go off course, but otherwise just kind of seems content to.
Oh yeah, and also Bucephalus quite often wants to push ahead of Celia. Like,
Oh, boy.
Bucephalus wants to
Name
be
your
in the
horse?
front.
It might be.
So you often has to like calm the syphilis down. So in the step with Celia, the syphilis when I go up to a hearty trot, immediately I'm like, no, 10 hours, Persepolis, calm the fuck down.
Obviously, this just goes in the way of like, I don't think Kyle likes to raise their voice, which is kind of like, no, stop, like firm, but like just chill. And if the horse gets really rowdy, it's just like I think Kyle would more utilize like whistles or clicks, which they have a very musical. I cannot whistle myself, but they have a very musical whistle. Very trained.
I will say, at this point, Titania kind of like rides up next to Ginevra, seeing like her demeanor, and is like, I just wanted to say hi. I think you look a lot more comfortable without all the pomp and circumstance.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of hard materials and clasps. It certainly is a lot more comfortable to be in something much more loose. I mean, I do enjoy the silk dresses, I have to admit, but yes, the gold is not missed.
Well, seems like quite a lot. I want to apologize for my sudden exit yesterday to you and to Aaron, but I will talk to him one-on-one on another occasion. It's just very just a little bit stressful, this whole business, and I just wanted to be open about that I'm seeing some potential problems in the whole business, like I'm not used to potentially risking my life on expeditions. Usually it's just, oh, you're going to somewhere you have permission to be, and it's all just a bit much.
Titania, can I be candid with you?
Please.
I understand why you had to leave before, and I'm pretty sure it's not just about risking your life. And I just want to say that you don't have to be as curious as me to know what's going on with each of you. I may not be as learned as you, Titania, but I'm not stupid. But I want to say that because I want to tell you that you have nothing to fear from me. I, as ever, just want to understand. I'm not going to turn you in for having an interest. I just want to learn more.
Sometimes I forget that everything I wrote and write is in public domain for anybody to read.
So tell me about it.
Oh, well, I've mostly been, a lot of my time was focused on I guess you'd call it different cultures throughout Frostmark, and especially culture's relationship to the church. One of my personal favorite projects was exploring, the kind of, I guess you'd call it a secular revolution in Mulgrave as, the Empire fell and they changed their ways from, very devout Rianish, system based on the Rianish faith to their more, I guess some would call it meritocratic, very knowledge, science focused society. It all tends to be very, I have call them personal problems with the idea of the old empire and the church. Imperialism as a philosophy has a lot of major flaws of eternal expansion and homogeny and just kind of it goes very much against my my beliefs about culture and, you know, how we should be celebrating the variety of different people and beliefs throughout Frostmark, and it's just I've always thought it was very much worth writing on, you know, to explain the, I guess, flaws in such a prevalent worldview, you know, and very much related to my job as a historian to present it in what I believe is the most honest manner I can, you know, and you know, not everybody, especially not the church or old leaders, is a fan of those works, but they're tolerated enough where they can be in Malgrave's libraries.
And where does that kind of research overlap with the occult?
Well, a lot of the cultures that I end up looking into have ties to, well, I guess what Rihanna's church would call them as devilry, though it's not always that. Usually it's just alternate beliefs or superstition.
Beliefs in what?
Oh, the Creekish especially have this fascinating belief in things like animal spirits, almost like a pantheistic sort of religion, things like that. You know, not every spiritual belief is about Rian, and that's in the mainstream culture. We see anything that is spiritual that isn't Rian related as a cult, and it's not truly a cult. It's just an alternate form of spirituality.
What about you, Tia? What do you believe?
See, that is a good question. I can't really answer it because I'm still asking a lot of questions. I can't prove inherently the existence of anything spiritual. People may claim their miracles are from what they believe is Rian, but I don't know that. I've never been partial to the rituals that go on behind the scenes. You know, there's no proof for me. You know, and I also don't know the exact details of the practices behind other cultures. So I'm very much still in the. She kind of looks down at her satchel full of books and is like, I'm still very much in the note-taking phase of trying to figure out what I believe.
Have you ever experienced miracles yourself?
Yes, in a way. But as I said, I've experienced them, but never been partial to the processes behind them, you know, the exact knowledge that goes into...
Do I believe that?
Ooh.
Go ahead, I guess, DM?
Yeah.
What's she rolling?
Background give just like a little whistle, like the tune just changes a little. Background just starts whistling a jaunty little tune.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of this feels pretty manipulation since we've been like having this long monologue. And then if it's manipulation plus persuasion or deception, it's up to you. But it's manipulation in one of them. And then empathy composure from Ginevra.
He's not. See, the thing is, she's not entirely lying. She's just denying.
I'm just Akron's. This is gonna happen one day. Akron's just letting you get the not lying out of you.
Doesn't matter because I don't know.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So Ginevra misunderstands the signals that that Titania is sending. In what way does she misunderstand your signals, Titania?
Well, actually, yeah, in this case, you probably, actually, if it's I don't know, is it like a misunderstanding, or is it she believes what I'm saying?
Well, I got a 1, so it's whatever you kind of, you're
Yeah.
trying to get across to me.
Like a 1...
I don't really get it. basically.
what she's trying to say is that yeah, she has been like on the end of a Rihannish miracle before, but she's never seen the details of the process. You know, she doesn't know the details of how spellcasting works for divine casters, which is true. So yeah,
White
So how
lie.
do you misunderstand this then?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How would you never misunderstand
How
this?
Ginevra, you have a strong suspicion that Titania knows more about divine spellcasting than what she lets on.
Oh god.
Okay. Well, what about just what do you feel? Forget all the notes. Forget all the science. Have you ever? What do you feel is the truth?
That kind of goes against the job description. But
Speaking to you as a person, rather than a researcher or an academic.
funny thing about it is that my academic is never mind. That's a point for another time. You know, it's
I know that you're passionate. I know that you have more to you than just your mind.
I think that there's more to the world than just Rion. Whether or not those forces are divine or good or evil or whatever your philosophical opinions about morality are, even though those are all subjective, I think I feel I've always had this instinct, like a big fed a reductive worldview. I've been around. I've seen places, and I've seen how the Rihanna Church operates and their beliefs in about how their only one morality is the true morality, while everything else is evil or otherwise otherwise distasteful or unwanted. And that, I feel like the world's bigger than,
And so,
bigger than one opinion.
what do you think should be done about it?
I think there should be I guess more open avenues of communication for people like me. And that this is also an entirely selfish request. I fully understand that about my own research. But also, history is so important, and understanding and preservation of cultures is incredibly valuable to our understanding of the world at large. And I feel like the Rihanna's church is so secretive behind closed doors. I would be much more comfortable if I at least knew what was going on with what are all the things with how miracles are worked. Because if I did, then I could have the most accurate notes possible, and that would mean trust, and I wouldn't have to either make my own hypotheses or theorize or be suspicious of people's words potentially. Because I don't know the truth. I have to consider all these different theories. It's a little tiring.
And how would understanding more about the inner workings of miracles or behind closed doors of the church make the world we live in a more open place to other cultures?
Well, that's very tangentially related. I wasn't more talking. And there goes my train of thought. I think especially because the Rihanna Church is so dominant in the world we live in, if they were open about their practices, and also they were open, I know it doesn't really go along with the doctrine of Rian, I guess, but if they were open about other practices, then we could have a more trusting world, a world where these things can be documented and shared openly without threats from greater powers, you know?
What about when it comes to these things where notes can no longer do it justice, can no longer work, where there's no longer the ability to write it down, it's just become something that is intangible, it's intuitive. When academia no longer will reach its limits.
Well, that's now that is a very, very openly philosophical question about our human understanding of what it means to describe, communicate things. I do believe that even intuitive things can be written down or processed in, or you know, like it be described and put to paper, you know, for other people to learn and share. I think the line is blurred, certainly, and there's certain things that can only be really described as subjective experiences that need to be experienced for oneself. But you can still write about those experiences, or you can go to a scribe to have them write about your experience.
And so the work that you do, you're trying to do your part to make the world a little more open in its understanding of other cultures, other practices.
Certainly a big part of it. A lot of it comes down to personal philosophies about freedom, I guess. And yeah, open, like freedom and culture and preservation and history. Yeah, I'm just trying to do my part. I'm not really here to change the world all on my own. I'm not a revolutionary. I just write things. That's all I do. I go out and write down what I experience. I'm not here to
I don't
I'm not
know,
here
I
to
think
ride in the streets.
words have a lot of power. I would argue that you don't need to be a fighter to be a revolutionary. The pen can be mightier than the sword.
Can I talk to Aaron when this is done?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
I
The
think
conversation-
Very
Conversation is allowed.
quietly, kind of, while this Peter's like very quietly while they're still talking, because Akron just kind of wants to keep this on the download. Gonna go up to Aaron and be like, "So, your fee for protecting Titania, are we gonna have to up that for protection from the church, or is that included?"
What do you mean?
Were you not listening to that conversation?
I've heard Titania talk about things like this before.
Yes, but before there was not a priest of Rion with you when Tia was talking about how the Rionish Church should have less control, which the Rionish Church is notoriously very magnanimous about that opinion.
Tia's her own woman. She can say what she wants to say to.
Do you want more money or
anyone.
not? What's it gonna take to get you to protect her against the church if it comes to that? Just answer the question, damn it. What kind of mercenary are you?
One that doesn't ask too many questions. You would do well by doing the same.
So are you gonna want more money, or are we covered?
I was hired by Titania to protect her on this mission. If she gets into further trouble, well, that's not part of the contract.
So is this a you want more money, or is this a you won't step in?
I'm not really thinking about ifs and what maybes. With more real facts. It's funny how she always seems to go down the rabbit hole of her academics. It's like
Jasmine.
it's their most favorite thing to do.
It is.
It's
All right, well,
just
thanks for
not
nothing.
really. Well, it's raining, so I'm just doing what I'm paid for.
Sorry, just like Aaron's face there.
Sorry, I just out of character. I was just like, hey, will you protect Titania from the church? Well, it's raining, so
No. Who can say if it's raining?
Well, thanks, horse boy. Good to know I can count on you.
Hey, by the way.
Nope, that's what you are now.
There was one last thing I wanted to kind of
Sorry,
add to the
go
end
ahead.
of our conversation.
I didn't-
That's fine.
I didn't mean to interrupt, sorry.
I think
I think it was good that it came in the middle because this is like
Yeah.
the end.
I also think that Aaron had one final thing to say there.
Go ahead.
I'm
But
sorry.
I mean, we're gonna like lay on top of each other. Like finish what you're saying.
Sure,
We can
sure,
loop
sure,
back.
okay.
to
No, go for it. Sorry, it's because my Discord like skipped, so I
Oh, okay.
missed it.
Look, I don't know what you got going on with that big scar around your neck, but clearly it's very sensitive. Didn't mean to spook you, but if you want to talk about it,
Thanks, I shouldn't have reacted how I did.
I don't think you have to apologize for that.
Yeah, let me know if you decide you want more money or whatever.
All right.
Good talk.
Yep.
Good talk.
Kind
You
of
two
fade back into
fuckers.
emotionless horse riding.
Yeah.
I love the juxtaposition. It's so good.
Yeah. All right.
Lola,
Was there
what do you
something
have?
more? Was there something more between
Yeah.
Titania and Ginevra? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Ginevra has been smiling for like kind of this entire conversation, and she says, "I think we are much alike, Titania. I also don't believe that destruction is the way to peace. Because when I look at you, I don't see evil or having an interest. I see a person, an intelligent person, whose opinions don't come from some weakness of will or malice or megalomania. I saw it when you were 15, and I see it now. Though you're a lot taller now.
So we're
Far
dropping
taller.
pretense then.
What pretense?
Okay, never mind. Deception is not for me.
I prefer to be honest and open.
In that case, it's good to see you.
I'm so glad that you're doing so well. You are doing well.
I think so. In some ways, not so much, but I am doing what I want with my life, at least. Not holed up in a stuffy castle anymore.
I'm really pleased.
We'll talk more later. There's much to catch up on.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me.
Yeah, of course.
All right. And you all get lulled by the hypnotizing sound of the rain, the birds, and the clapping of the horses underneath you. Eventually, around lunchtime, Titania kind of forces everybody underneath her roof because she has a date on a specific piece of paper that she's been itching to read the witness statement. And you grab a quick bite. Just underneath this. You pass by a little bit of a small pub on the road, which has a stable and a roof that goes out a little bit over the ground, so you can just stand there and eat an apple or two. Yeah, Akron is eating a lot of apples, aren't you?
I'm certainly cutting them open and like coring them. I'll give the first one to horse now named Bucephalus and ask if anyone else
What?
It wasn't my choice. I was strong-armed.
I'm
But,
sorry, what? Can you just repeat that one more time for me?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, for the moment, not named Bucephalus unless my friend Will tunes into the stream.
Did you
But,
name your horse syphilis?
Bucephalus, oh my god.
No, not syphilis. Whatever.
Who do you take me for? What is your opinion of me? You would think such a thing.
This is what it sounded like to me.
Oh my
Oh god.
Me syphilis.
Yes, Bucephalus, not the other thing. Yes, this is my horse, the famous STD. But, I'll see if any other horses want apples after I've collected the seeds.
Uh-huh.
In, like, a little pouch or some shit. I might need an apple myself.
And
I love apples.
after stuffing down some traveling rations, Tia, in your equipment, in the handout section, you got the witness statement.
Yes. I want to read that.
Well, it was given to Titania, so Titania, do you
Oh,
want
was
to...
it?
Yes,
I will ask
describe
Titania
that.
for the witness statement.
Is it? I cannot see it. Where?
Yeah, no,
Hello?
yeah, I'm gonna give...
Yes.
There you go. So you can read out loud if you want to. If
Yes, I can. Alright. Oh, this is lots. Okay. No, let's do it in character voice. That's fine. 737, Lorec 14th, Juniper's Drift. Editor's note, removed any emotional expression from the text as you wanted, Lady Alberate. Interesting. Okay. We had heard rumors from sheep herders traveling with bucks that the Ravenmoor's forces have been spotted heading south at the start of the year. It was troublesome news, of course, but I had my village to worry about, and we thought we were too south of them to impact us directly. Bemisen is usually a busy day for me in our village church, as most villagers enjoy some free time and attend my sunrise ritual. But at the beginning of the year, there is a lot of sheep who go into labor. These days, I always help out my community by traveling from sheepherder to sheepherder, helping the poor creatures get the lambs out, blessing sheep who had complicated labors with Rion's breath where I could. I was up in the eastern hills at Kulak Farm when a runner came for me. Ravenmoor's forces had invaded Juniper's Drift and the church was burning. I headed into town with haste with some of the Kulak people to see if there was something we could do. As we arrived into the village, all the villagers had been forcibly gathered at the center of the village, and similarly we were pushed into the same situation. Some houses were burning beyond the church. Our local alderman's house was burning too, and I spotted Alderman Gillian's head on a spike beside the Ravenmoor people. Some people around me in the crowd were complaining about ransacked homes. I spotted some Ravenmoor soldiers who were dressed and armed like Straza, but their uniform no longer sported the Queen's coat of arms. But there were others, heinous and belligerent terrorizers with flails, which they didn't hesitate to use on people. On top of our speaker's stand in the middle of our village square, two young girls stood aloft with black dresses and eye paint or the tattoo of black tears running down their cheeks. They barked out orders and laughed at the crowd or at the burning church. Next, the two women shouted where the priest was, where I was. I stood in the middle of the crowd, still dressed for the delivery of lambs, so my identity wasn't clear on first notice. The two in charge threatened the crowd that they would start to punish them if they didn't reveal it to us. They also started to search random people for the mark of the priests. The Kulak then blocked the view of me as much as they could, standing around me, but my apprentice, Claire, wasn't as lucky. She was taken away, where I don't know. More threats were thrown, how they would burn more houses and remove people's ears and fingers. Before any of these threats could be acted upon, some tough lads and lassies from the Morgaine kinfolk rushed the square with various tools and weapons on hand. I saw one soldier wielding those flails step in front of their charge. Then something devilish came out of them, like black smoke. The Morgaines stopped, fell to their knees, begging for their lives to the soldier. I didn't see anything more after that. Some of the Kulak kinsfolk pulled me away into the ale cellar of Maisie Raid, whose house was nearby to us. They put me in a barrel and smuggled me out of the town the day after. I heard their voices explain to the new guards of the village outskirts that the Duncans in the south had brought some ale. After some time on the road, I was finally let out. I asked them to explain to me what had happened. They only gave me a brief explanation that the Ravenmoors are running the town. I asked them for more, but they said they didn't have the time to explain, as we were already hunted. Some village folk had overheard that the soldiers knew I was in town still, but they couldn't find me. If they knew that, it wouldn't be long until they knew more. Then they drew weapons, saying they would slow any pursuers down. I blessed their courage and sacrifice, and then took the horse they gave me and then rode with haste down the southern road. I knew that Rion needed me to inform the faithful and good of what the devils had unleashed in my fair lands. 737, Rerec 6th Oakhart. Formal conjoined debriefing of witness, Priest of Danielle. Then a list of names of those who are witnessing the witness account, and some legal jargon that is of no interest to us. Very interesting.
It's certainly one way to get people to cooperate.
So there was mention of those two women again.
Where's your priest, Mark? Or whatever the fuck they're talking about. Akron's asking Ginevra, because it mentioned looking for priest marks.
Doesn't Ginevra have the priest in the forehead? Like, yeah.
Is it visible or is it like under your bangs?
It's under my.
Yeah, that's why Akron's asking, because it did say, and they searched for priest marks. So hearing that, Akron goes, "Ayo, priest,
Yeah.
where it at?"
Lift it up.
That Akron does not look pleased with the revelation of the fact that it's on your face.
It's standard procedure, unfortunately.
How much do you like your fingers?
I feel like I don't want to answer that question.
So don't get caught by any women with tear makeup. Not that we were going to anyway.
It's not for
Do you have
everybody.
any makeup, do you?
I have like eye paint. It's black. Do you want like a
Thinking more
black
like
stripe like
cover
across your
up.
forehead?
I'm thinking
You
more
might-
cover up.
A headband, maybe?
Maybe. Might draw more attention if I just had or a hat. If we buy a hat.
I think just don't get caught.
Yeah.
Aaron, you were saying something?
When you were reading out the witness report, the question to the GM, would the mention of a flail with dark smoke coming out of it, like, would that be recognizable as a weapon that he may have seen before?
No, I wouldn't say so. No,
What
I
about
wouldn't say so.
me?
No, not in your case either.
So the dark smoke was coming out of the flail, not out of the person.
Out of the person.
It was coming out of the person who was
It's coming out
wielding
of
the
the
flail.
person.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, so
Okay.
Yeah.
the flail isn't that surprising given Straw's tactics.
No,
That
I
sounds-
thought I misheard then. I thought the smoke coming out of the flail.
Well,
No.
Strasa, uses javelin hammocks as nets. Flails are usually more of a... Flails are notoriously hard to wield in combat because of the chances of hurting yourself with them. They're more of a beat a person who is already down kind of kind of energy from it, you know?
Oldwood forces. I mean, we heard about them being very open with the artifact around the guards at the castle. Maybe these were particularly castle guards that have had some kind of devilry happen to them, be done to them, infused in them in some way.
I will say, the mention of the guards seeing the artifact being brought out in front of the guards from the spy kind of told me that everyone might have some kind of affliction from this artifact, because there's only 2 reasons you show something like that to someone, and that's because you implicitly trust that they won't betray you, or because for one reason or not they can't. And I didn't think they had blackmail on everyone, so...
Well, they may gain something out of their leaders having this more power. I mean, they seem to be quite effective. So they
there
may be
anyone
happy
around?
to...
Sorry.
It's okay.
My Discord's laggy as fuck, so I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
don't
I
worry
didn't mean
about
to
it.
interrupt. This delay is
I'm just
terrible.
repeating the same thing, so don't worry.
I guess Akron's gonna, still speaking relatively quietly so that hopefully nobody... Actually, Akron's gonna look around. Can they, spot anyone, listening in or standing close enough to, hear, maybe?
Right now, no, you're pretty much alone where you are. There's some activity around you in this, stop on the road. But you have some privacy. Otherwise, I don't think you would allow Titania to bring this out or read this to everybody.
No.
Yeah, I think we're the only people outside the pub, and everybody else is in.
Yes. You're basically standing by the stables of this inn.
Akron kind of thinks for a couple moments, kind of like they're weighing saying something maybe before they just kind of sigh and they go, not to be contrarian to all of this, but have we considered that this is, pardon the pun, smoke and mirrors? I mean, it's easy enough to create for lack of a better word, smoke bottles, which could have just been shattered to create an effect for fear. I mean, is there proof that this is actually devilry other than they threatened to torture a bunch of villagers? And one guy had black smoke coming out of him from a priest being whisked away quickly?
You make a good point, but it's probably better to be cautious.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say... I mean, I think we all know that, if anything, I'm paranoid. So...
I think I'm rereading this one paragraph again, and it says these Morgaine kinfolk, as they're described, were rushing very bravely before suddenly stopping and begging once this supposed devilry happened. Such a change in attitude indicates something abnormal. Though perhaps it is just fear. That is a possibility. We do not know.
I mean, this is a report from a priest who was not who, if I understood this correctly, might not have been a regular there. So it may be an attempt to... I mean, we know the Ravenmoors want the church out. Maybe this was a bold attempt to scare the church away from sending more people back.
It's a difficult thing to prove in any case from a distance for us to have any proof, but in terms of caution, I take that as assuming it's the worst possible outcome, and to me that would be them having a devil artifact and them having a way to infuse it onto others, and that leading them to cause significant harm to others and to us if we went against them. But it would be good if it was all smoke and mirrors, because then hopefully with your kind of eye we'd be able to suss that out and avoid them sending any more people in a way that would achieve exactly what they're trying to do.
If it is a devil artifact, which could very well be, I'm not well versed in miracles or the opposite, I guess. Whatever powers devils have or whatever, but if it is such a power, how do you plan to stop it?
It's hard to know until you really see it. I have to admit that I haven't dealt with devil artifacts before in such a way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and you don't have any plan to counteract said magic whilst we're there, or destroy the artifact when we gain access to it. The plan
It's
is
a good
to,
thing we're only
if-
going to the valley, right?
if we even need to infiltrate. Hopefully, all the information we need will be in the valley.
Oh,
In which case, this information would be unnecessary for us. But
all we know right now is that it glows. So it's hard to know how
That's
to deal
true.
with something like that.
Where is this village? You had maps.
it was named Juniper's Drift, I believe, was the name of the town, and map. Could we get a map handout?
We were given
as
maps.
well?
Yeah, map.
Can we get
I
a
just
map
want
handout
to.
so we can
Akron
access
just
it
wants
at
to
any
see
time?
if the
Oh,
city, if the town is large enough to be labeled, if we could figure out where it is.
Oh, it's here. Okay.
Okay.
Way south of Fenby.
Well, at least it's deep in the territory. If that's we're on the border, I'd be more concerned.
Do we know that they've gone all the way down to Birchdale, or they haven't gone that far?
Yes, all three.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, which I might not, but Tia does have keen mind, so she would, because she was there for that
What's
conversation.
the question?
If I remember correctly, all
It's a
three
good
of those
Birchdale.
cities had all of their nobles tortured and murdered and
I
have been
believe
taken
it
over.
was Ike, Alderhope,
Yeah.
and Fenby, not Birchdale.
Okay.
No,
Not as far as
Birchdale is still in the control of the crown.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
so at least we
'cause
know.
he thought he was going to be, he was safe because he
Okay.
was far enough south, but
Yes.
obviously,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
there's probably a kind of
Um,
unsure area around here. Like, we don't really know exactly where the border is,
Would-
maybe.
Would Tia let Akron mark the map that we were
Oh,
given?
yeah.
Yeah, I want Akron to like mark, obviously like have the spot marked, but draw kind of like a dotted, just like a faint or like whatever, but dotted line across that area. Because Akron, the goal this is for Akron to be like, this is the boundary we know the Ravenmoors have control to, would be from across the mountains to like that spot.
Just a color that perhaps is not green that you have right now. That would be hard to see.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Do you want to draw it on the?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
You can draw it on the.
I didn't know if I was allowed to
Oh, yeah,
mark
we
the
Yes.
map.
Yeah. You can draw it where you like.
I mean,
It's
I
our
can
map.
just remove it.
We also have our own drawings. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we don't know, I guess, exactly where the border is, but we know that it's somewhere in between Birchdale and that cross.
I was gonna mark it like that. Akron
Yeah.
does something like that, just so that we have, just that Akron is like, this is where I'm assuming we know, or where we can assume the power sits to at least.
And
So given this was some time back,
they're in Alderholt, right? Like the castle's in Alderholt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Alderberg Castle is where they're operating out of.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a really bad memory for names.
No worries. That's why we got this.
Yes. Yeah, those are the two things that draw the most attention for me. Is the two women turning up again. They seem to be the
They seem to be a
main
theme.
trustees of this task. The main stewards almost to the king and queen, or
Oh,
whatever they are, or the
Aren't
Ravenwolves.
they
Counting
the
counters.
leaders of the Blackbirds?
Are they?
The young woman in black was brought up with the Blackbirds, wasn't it?
I mean, I thought that was
Yeah.
obvious.
had. Did I have names at some point?
The blackbirds, it's unknown what they're named, but we know that there are
Okay,
two
yeah.
women
Was two women.
Yes.
Ah,
I think
okay.
it's just
I
very
forgot
telling.
that specific detail.
Oh,
Yes,
They're
yes,
willing.
yes, 2 women. Yes, okay.
if they are involved in Beyond the Mountains, whilst also holding a
Oh.
stronghold within the pass, one might assume that they're working together. Now, that doesn't really pose
That
much
might explain
safety.
why they have developed so quickly. If they've had the support of the Raven Wars,
Oh no. Just...
the Raven Wars' personal henchmen.
Oh no, I was just reading a note and I saw another thing that's not good.
You want to share?
So, no, but I will. So it says in a paragraph, sorry, I'm gonna have to get real close to my computer screen to read this. I am illiterate. But my apprentice Claire wasn't as lucky. She was taken away where I don't know. And this is written by the priest, so it's the priest's apprentice who
Mm-hmm.
was with girl, wasn't outright killed.
Taken away.
Mm-hmm. They might be using her for her miracles, potentially, or
Well, we
her...
know that they had people who could perform miracles by the talking to Yevor. So maybe they're turning them. I mean, I don't know how miracles work, so I can't say. Maybe that's why they're collecting them, so they have people who do miracles.
So we've heard other accounts of priests being taken rather than killed, because I've only heard about, you know, the churches being burned down, and I assume they were all just being killed.
Well, I wouldn't say. I don't think we did, but Yevor did say that it was either Yevor or someone else. Someone we talked to said that they saw people who were like in this Straza who no longer had the crowns, you know, insignias on them, but there were people who were performing, is as close as I can get paraphrasing, dark miracles. I don't even know what to call them, or something similar to that. So assuming that, you know, since the people who perform miracles are all part of the church, and you know, clearly it's a church thing, being able to do miracles, I don't know where else they come from.
Well, that's why I thought it might be something to do with this devil artifact. It'd be some kind of power that is available there that they... I mean, I don't know how these things work. I don't know how devil artifacts work. Maybe...
Do I believe
they
that?
are...
Which part?
Ooh!
Which part?
That she doesn't know how devil artifacts work.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
good, it wasn't me.
Empathy and composure against either persuasion or deception, manipulation.
Okay.
Which one is up to you?
17.
Just double check my numbers. Yeah. Oh, I'm rolling low again.
He's like standing up against like just a pillar, like, because it's just a canopy or whatever, and he's just like listening in. He's just been listening to you guys. So he's you mentioned devil artifacts several times, and he raises an eyebrow.
All right. What does he notice? Do you know?
If I fail at persuasion, is it? I don't know how it turns.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting because failing at deception, you know, somebody believes that you're lying. Failing at persuasion means that you're failing at persuading them of the truth.
Yeah.
So then they think you're
I
lying.
guess, yeah. So I guess he feels like I'm not being honest.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess the question is it contested, or is there a DC to beat like 10?
I usually look at the vastness in between them, and indeed, if it's like a really low number of like how bad this chasm is, you know.
Okay.
How much you
that's
learn.
one way to do it.
It's 10 here, so
All right.
in terms of the
still
space. Yeah. So I think it kind of sounds like Ginevra has had some sort of dealings with devil artifacts.
Yeah, you get suspicious that she's not telling everything.
Mhm.
I have an odd question for the DM.
Oh,
About
hello.
Acheron's knowledge of terrible things.
I'm
This
here,
is your
guys.
Gore warning, children. Gore warning, children. So torture methods. How good of a like as far as threatening to hurt people, like obviously not that Acheron knows anything about that. Threatening to take ears and fingers, is this pretty conventional, or is this like a weird threat to make?
Oh, yeah. No, considering your background, I'm not gonna let you roll for this. I mean, it's painful. It's going to impact your life. Being, like, without an ear will impact your hearing, but it will not remove it completely, and you will look disfigured and probably not so nice to your spouse or future spouse. Same thing with the finger. It will impact you, but it won't necessarily make it so that you're an invalid, right? So,
I mean, that's what I'd threaten to do, so I'm assuming it's a good threat, but is it like the common course? Like, you know, those, assuming one would be taught to torture people, is this like what you're taught to go for first, or is it just kind of however you feel that day?
well,
Creative with it.
no, it's kind of interesting because you know the art of torture. Because if you want to torture somebody with information, but you don't necessarily want it to be a lasting injury, because that would be another punishment on top of it. Is that you know you will go for fingernails, you go for splintering bones that can regrow, like bruises, a lot of attacks to the body, injuries to the head. You know all of that pajazz. Drawing a tooth. Drawing out a tooth. But the fact is, removing a finger, removing an ear in particular, will brand you for life. So there's another punishment on top of the torture or the pain of having it removed. Also interesting with that is that when you dismember people, you can remove tongues, you can remove eyes. Pretty good doctor standing nearby if you do so. You can remove limbs if you want to, but a finger and an ear would not necessarily destroy your chances of working. If you know what
I know
mean.
that. My next really odd question is there anything symbolic that Acheron would know about with fingers and ears? This might be like, if the answer is no, that's totally fine. I'm just curious if this is like symbolic in a way Acheron would know.
I mean, you don't know of the customs in the area, if it has in the symbolism for the area, that you don't know. But I mean, taking a finger can usually have something to do with like thievery, that you have loose hands. Ears could be that you overheard something that you shouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. So aside from the usual,
Yeah.
it's just the usual stuff. Okay.
Aside from the usual, you're not sure. But
yeah,
it's an interesting fact that they chose to focus on these two items of dismemberment.
I'm not sharing any of this, obviously. Acheron is keeping all of this internal. And yeah, I'm not going to be like, well, you see, in torture culture. I don't think that would go across very well. So, yeah, Acheron's keeping a straight face and all of that to himself, just kind of being non-reactive about it. Doesn't seem too bothered about anything in the letter, just kind of curious, maybe. Annoyed slightly. Hard to read, hard to tell. Except Tia. Tia probably knows.
I think.
Do you think that there might be any contacts that we could potentially reach out? Or is that a bit too far away from anywhere we want to go?
I think, assuming that our goal is all their hold, should we even infiltrate, which is still a potentially contentious, I think we probably won't end up going to this town anyhow, unless we get any other leads that mean they might have something useful. For now, I think, like a lot of this information, it'll be more useful once we actually know whether or not we need to cross over to the eastern side of the mountains.
Can I get a reminder of whereabouts the valley is? Is it literally this part here?
Yeah, I think it's the little arch right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in the
that.
arch.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. All right.
Shall we press on?
Cool.
Yes. I think that's useful.
All right. You carry on, you wayward sons. Travel over the day. Over the afternoon. The rain just continues in this constant drizzle. The rain isn't necessarily hard, it's just this constant factor. And it's making the road more and more muddy. Sometimes you have to help to stabilize the horses as it gets a little bit slippery over stone and moving earth. But the afternoon goes, it happens. The afternoon happens without much incidents. The signs of civilization just continues to diminish for each hour that passes, and eventually, when it's time to stop and rest the horses and give them some food, you have the choice of finding yourself an inn. You travel past a tavern or an inn called the Diving Hawk, which seems to be a reputable establishment, not opulent or anything, but like hearty. Or you can take to the woods if you like that instead.
Titania will defer to Acheron. What do you think?
Aaron, how trustable are the inns in this area?
I mean, it's an inn, right? Are you generally afraid of inns?
You can find the wrong sorts of people in certain establishments.
Don't ask stupid questions.
Who are the wrong people here, Titania?
Thugs, rapists, murderers, those who generally want to hurt or murder or take advantage of you or sell you. We do know there are slavers in these woods. Let's see what else. Those who want to rob you or murder your horse, steal your shit. Need I go on?
And this is just Oldwood. Get used to it. Both inside and outside, you're not going to have much choice of the people around you. You have to get okay with this. They're not going to wait for you to get okay with it.
I mean,
Reputable,
we're only
yes,
a day or
shall we
so
say.
outside of Oldwood. I don't think we have to fear things being like a wild, mad country. I mean, it seems...
Of course.
We're only...
Acheron, make me an intelligence check with advantage.
Does it have to be intelligence?
Yes, but this is because this is recall. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
recalling
we're
some
not.
information right now.
Haven't you like walked this road already? Like which road did you come? Did you come from the south?
No, you guys would have.
I know I didn't, but like coming
think we
from
would probably,
Malgrave.
They would probably come.
Yeah, the southwest.
There.
Yeah, so you would know the roads in general around this area.
1 second,
so.
I gotta roll again. I forgot the command.
/R.
That's not much better, is
Well,
it?
10 was the DC I put in my DV. DV that I put in my mind.
TV.
So, generally, the area around the capital is pretty safe. I mean, you can never be sure. but you know, if you compare the other areas of Oldwood, like a day's travel away from the capital, you probably can rest easier.
Yeah, I'd rather rest a little more comfortably while we can and save the energy for
And appreciate the
times where
comforts
we
of
can't.
civilization whilst we have them.
Mm.
Because we probably won't have them when we're over the mountains. If,
Yeah,
again.
we'll probably prefer to be
Alright.
out of the eyes of
Alright.
others.
Diving
Aaron's
hawk in
giving
it is.
Aaron a weird look, like just the slightest, like weird look, just like.
Can I try and
I
insight
squint.
what that weird look means?
You would
I
like.
squint.
Alright, alright. But remember, you know, with empathy composure, you only learn like emotional states, right?
Yeah. But I wanna
Go
see if
for
I
it.
can get Aspen to describe it.
It's a little bit like, you know, if you do empathy composure towards a murderer saying, no, I didn't kill them, then if
I
you
lost
succeed,
all my good juju.
if you succeed on that empathy check, it's not you learn that the murderer strangled the woman at 10:13. That you only know. Yeah.
What am I rolling? Would this be empathy or deception?
I rolled a 12. You could just tell me what I find out with a 12
Deception-
if you want.
That's fair.
Deception or persuasion, or you just decide to.
I'll decide.
Fail.
I had a DC set in my mind, and it's not close enough to get everything, but it's close enough. You can tell that it's the emotion behind it is like. I'll give you close enough to like get kind of a vibe. The vibe of like faint annoyance, maybe like some confusion. It's very clear that Aaron's "you gotta get used to the world, kid" was like not appreciated.
Alright.
So I'll give you that insight.
Doesn't appreciate condescension.
That
Silly question. According to Aaron.
confused annoyance.
Oh, the roads. Look at the road. You're on it.
She's paranoid.
Aaron's like,
Alright.
So Aaron gets off Cillians and like goes to like the party and says, "Look, I'll stable the horses. You guys get settled. Watch out for any scary people inside, right?" And gives him a quick look to Acheron.
have fun, horse boy.
We'll keep safe. Thank you for watching the horses. And I think for names, I think I'm gonna go with Fleance for this one. And she
Wait.
points to her horse.
Is
Again?
this one gonna survive just as long as the last one?
Oh,
Referring to a horse in the past.
You don't have the best luck with horses, do you?
animals don't do well with cliffs. Let's say that.
Oh.
I mean, did you have to put so many books on? Anyway, like,
We
take,
can talk
the,
about the story another time.
Humans.
Alright, okay.
take the horses to the
I need
stable.
to hear that story.
Okay. So, you do arrangements with Diving Hawk Inn. The inn costs 8 silver per night, and a stable costs an additional 2 silver, so it would be a
Per
gold
person?
per person.
Got it.
Breakfast is included in that, but not lunch or dinner. Or
Fine.
alcohol.
We have rations for that? Right?
Yep, we got food.
Cool. I'll mark it down now.
You can also buy hay or feed for the horses if you would like. Otherwise, you can use your own that you have with you. Remove that from your fans, please.
Yeah. We're gonna have party funds, do we?
Are there double rooms here?
We have like 2 gold left of party fund or something, isn't it? Or like 15 or something like that.
Most rooms are indeed doubles for efficiency. So if you want to have a single, then you still buy a double, have to pay for that privacy, if that makes sense.
So what, you pay 2 gold?
No, you're basically
21.
you're paying for a double if you want
No,
to.
you're
Yeah.
paying for the
Same
same room, you just aren't.
Yeah.
Playing one.
Yeah.
We have 21 gold from the previous, so I guess I'll deduct the coinage for the staying tonight from the party gold.
You want to do it
Oh,
from party
okay.
gold? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
I was willing to just use my own personal, but I didn't mind.
We're fresh out of the gate. It's fine. 17 gold remaining.
Cool. Did we calculate already like all the money that we're gonna end up spending on feed?
Did
already
we not
deducted?
get the extra money? That was like.
Yeah, you did. But
Yeah, I was about to say,
what was
how
the
much
extra?
did we get?
yeah, it's you. As I said, you decide how much money you wanna risk traveling around with. So
I'm confident that no one can rob us.
So the roof was 100 gold.
Okay, I'll add 100 onto the party fund.
Yeah, I'm a little, maybe I'm egotistical. I'm confident that no one will rob us and consider it successful given the loss they will now have to contend with, potentially.
I thought it was 25 to 100 gold per person, depending on the.
I think it was collectively.
No. It was
That's a lot of money.
Okay.
I've added the
Okay.
100 to the party fund, so we have 117 remaining.
It really helped me to visualize money in a better way when I, looked at what would be a common calculation of what one gold, right? Because one gold is one GP, and it's about $100. It's one gold coin.
Yeah. So I already spent like basically like 6 gold on like when I bought my personal item. So does that come out of that 100?
If you wanted to.
That's already been deducted, yes, from the party funds of the 250 that was given to us.
Oh, yeah, because you got a certain amount of money that can be used for materials only. It wasn't cash. It was like an amount of wealth that you could cash out in form of materials. And then you had cash money, which is the 100 gold coin.
Oh, okay, so we only have 100, so we have then 96.
Got it.
Okay. Are we splitting that like 25, 25, 25 between us just to
I think we're
spread out
just
the
keeping.
money?
I think
Or
it's
you're
just
just gonna
a-
give 100 on one person?
It's party funds, so I think
It's
it's
just party funds for the time being, but you can have carrying around money if you feel like
Yeah,
it.
it's not even so much like it can still be party funds. It's just in terms of spreading out the risk, not having one person carrying a kilo of gold,
Sure.
having like 250 each to minimize
25
if
each.
something does happen. Yeah, 25.
We can. I'll put a note that it's distributed. God.
okay.
Distributed evenly. There.
Cool. So we can all give one each.
I will be bringing, those are just in my bags anyway. My suspicious bags.
Your salty bags.
Yeah, super big bags. You already had a big bag before.
Yeah.
Heavy
Oh no,
bag.
it's most of the stuff is like packaged in that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm bringing so I can start work on my stuff. Secretly.
Do you have two bags now? I remember you had one heavy bag when we spoke.
Yeah.
Okay. Another
But
heavy
I
bag.
keep the small bag in the big bag. Like the alpha Chad I am.
Incredible.
So heavy. I lift.
Inside on that.
You can lift.
You don't
Akron
need to.
Akron's kind of lean, muscular.
Yeah, that's why I don't think she lifts. I think she just
No, she doesn't lift, bro.
spars.
I beat people up.
Aaron lifts a little.
Aaron doesn't even like lift. He just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you even work, bro?
Brawl.
Maybe
Oh,
he
yeah.
lifts his horse every now and again.
One arm.
Okay.
Bench
okay.
press.
Lifts his
Celia.
horse.
Oh, wow. Anyway,
Like a very close bond. It's okay.
Humorous mage, he does the whole bending of the knees.
Yeah.
While we get rooms and stuff sorted, can I run to the bathroom real fast?
oh, yeah, definitely.
I have to disappear for like 5 seconds.
Okay. It's the Diving Heart Tavern. Seems to be, as I said, a pretty hearty tavern. A little bit of it's like a more of a calm atmosphere where it promises you like a safe and warm and relaxing evening rather than, you know, the rowdy kind where you come to drink yourself silly and listen to some weird bard lamenting about some love. And indeed, the travelers in here, or the patrons in here, seems to be travelers of different kinds. Either just more wealthy laborers traveling to work or from work, contractors. There's merchants, transporters. You know, those who do caravans and coaches. And they're sitting in their corners at the bar, either having a quiet mug of ale to themselves or talking in low murmurs to each other about mundane stuff.
We eavesdropping?
Yeah, sure, if you want to. But the people here seems very professional, a little bit forgettable. There's stable hands also helping Aaron situate the horses inside, and there's plenty of space to have carts and wagons to be out from the rain underneath a roof. So this inn seems to know what it's good at and does exactly that.
Are we sitting and having some dinner?
Yeah, if you want.
I guess so.
Might as well. Akron's gonna pick a table that's kind of not like in a corner necessarily, but has like a good view of like
You want to sit against the
door
wall,
and
basically.
Yeah, well, yeah. Akron wants to have a table that's like has a seat by the wall, but also has like clear line of sight to like the door and the stairs. Assuming there are stairs in this picture. But...
That could probably be probably just one table that suits your qualifications that is free still, because usually people tend to go for the rather than the inside tables, outside tables. But it seems like this tavern is filled maybe to 60% right now, so you're in luck.
Like without consulting the party, Akron just picks that table. And
Oh!
like,
Yeah, go
one.
through. This one it is.
Fair enough.
Prefer to Acheron's.
Titania will sit down and say, and Aaron is outside, right?
Still.
Sure. Do you want to do this right like you've just come in? Sure. Yeah, it'd be outside.
Okay, I was just curious. I wanted to know. Never mind. I don't have anything to say. Never mind. Ignore me.
Aaron eventually comes and joins the party and sits down. Yes.
Looks his hair back from the wet rain.
Mm-hmm.
Plops down next to the table.
Wet dog.
Yep. Dripping all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day down.
One day down. Progress. Honestly, I'm feeling, as much as I like urban environments, I was a little overwhelmed by the Queen's hospitality, so it's good to be on the road again.
Yes, I miss the trees.
Have you not been outside for a while? Just been within the city walls?
Yeah, pretty much for the last couple months.
What would keep you behind the walls for so long?
Lots of talking. Effectively. Can't get much evangelizing done when there's no one to talk to.
Fair enough. Sounds boring, but if you're happy about that.
I don't know, I think I enjoy scenery, but people are definitely by far the most interesting thing to me. I'm sure that Titania can relate somewhat with her love of cultures and community.
It is technically my job to study people, so.
It's kind of mine too, but in a different way, I guess. My people are still alive.
Well, the people I study are not always dead. You know, it's
Already?
well, you have in certain cases, actually in a lot of cases, I go around exploring Frostmark to learn about existing people. You know, cultures that are still alive today. Though frequently, yes, it is a lot of pouring through books and old caves, looking for evidence of old cultures, but not always. Not always. On occasion.
Where's the furthest that you've gone?
I'm trying to think. This is she's probably been all over the place as wherever Mulgrave could get permission
But-
for her to go.
How much time
Yeah.
have you had since you became, you know,
Let me look at my timeline because I have it.
because, you know, remember, medieval travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
7 years? Or between 5 and 7?
Titania, Titania enrolled in the Explorer's Vacation in 736. So she's been doing research either within
So
or
8
without
years.
the city
Okay.
for 8 years. Yeah.
And we can
So
probably
she was-
be, probably in an excursion per year, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go, you know, during the summer months where it's easy to travel.
Where it's easy to travel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an
I've
interest.
been, I wouldn't say, maybe this is the furthest I've gone, but it's certainly one of the more exotic locations, at least in terms of, how do I say this? The fact that, the location we're going to is, in open rebellion against its rulers is definitely exotic by comparison to what I'm used to.
And what was your favorite?
I think the journey I had to East Creek with Aaron here actually was one of my best.
Is this when you lost your horse?
Expeditions. Yes, it was.
I
but,
need to
you
hear
know-
this story.
You get the bad with the good on occasion. Do I want to tell this? Do I want to improvise a story right now?
Well, it's up to
Okay.
you. I know that you've done a lot of writing for your characters, so
I can
I'm
improvise a story.
probing for if there's anything that's already there.
Yeah, so I was looking into there was a cave system deep in a ravine. This one on this expedition that was one of my targets, and you know, I had an especially rowdy horse named Sebastian, named after one of my siblings. And yeah, he got spooked off a cliff. It was not pleasant, you know, sometimes, but as I said, you take the bad with the good. I hope it was a nice burial in a river at the bottom of a ravine. But we did manage to make it to the caves below. It just had some costs.
And so,
Basic-
why did you enjoy it? It must have been pretty great if it's still your favorite after losing a horse.
I mean, I believe I told you about the Creekish spiritual practices that I learned about whilst I was there, and like that is, East Creek is one of the regions that is, I don't want to say least under the influence of the church, but it definitely has, it's definitely very much, it retains a lot of that old nomadic cultures that are unaffected by the by what we would quote unquote call civilization, and that means there was a lot there. Those old traditions are still preserved in some way, meaning that he get direct access to actually living with these I guess different spiritualities, and by comparison to reading old books, or finding that everything has been has been either removed from record or or otherwise become unavailable, it was a very refreshing experience to have at least be able to talk to some people about it.
And they were open with you about the cultures.
To a certain extent, I'm weaving a line because I haven't actually directly written anything about this. So if I say anything bad, GM, let me know.
Okay.
Say anything that would fall out of line with canon because I don't want.
Probably met some of the Red Stag.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Red Stag.
It's one of the.
I have it in my.
One of the
I
clans.
have it in my Little B notes.
Yeah, you do. One of the clans of East Creek that is still alive. There used to be a massive amount of clans, but Clan Red Stag is in peaceful rebellion against the church in this way that they're, doing the tree hugging, peaceful I refuse kind of approach, and they are the largest by number of the clans that remain. So they would invite you. They would be peaceful and friendly.
Yeah, I guess there've been a lot of tense dealings between the Creekish people and the church. So I guess having somebody who was more interested in who they were for who they were instead of a change in culture was enough to let me sit in on some events and activities and let me talk to some minor leaders and get just definitely a more hands-on approach than you would normally get.
Is that where you saw your miracles?
Oh, no, this is not where I saw, when I meant miracles, I meant miracles of Rion. Since we've dropped the pretense, I apologize for any deception that I tried, but clearly you are much smarter than that and I should have known. Back at home, we had Rionish priests dealing with injuries and whatnot, and that was where I learned about Rionish miracles in the first place. And I'm gonna side-eye Acheron just to inform them that, hey, this has happened. We're, on the same level now, Ginevra and I.
But you didn't see anything similar in terms of effect or power when you were there?
GM, do you wanna... Oh. I think she has her headphones.
Sorry, I was fixing my headphones, so I didn't hear what you said there.
Yes. You want to go ahead and say what you said?
I asked whether Tia would have saw, in learning about their culture and kind of getting to meet them, whether they would have kind of shown any kind of ritual magic, but I didn't say magic, but things that are to a similar extent in effect or power as miracles that Tia would have seen in the church.
Would Tia have seen that? I don't think so, but I just want to ask.
No.
I can make a cult check if you want.
No.
No. Okay.
Because the Red Stag is allowed to go on as they are for now, because they do not do anything overtly bad against the church. They actually worship Rion. They have to worship Rion.
Yeah.
They just do not want to conform with the Crow way of living. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. No, I did not witness anything of the sort, unfortunately. No. So. It was enlightening, though.
I'm sure. And you mentioned that there's a lot for us to catch up on. I guess.
Certainly. I would like to ask what you've been up to for the past 10 years at some point, though I don't want to overtake the conversation or halt dinner.
Yes, that's I was going to say. If you prefer another time, if you're tired or we're all tired, we
Maybe.
can save it for another time. But it's up to you. How are you all feeling?
I think we can sit on it for now.
All right.
Aaron, Acheron, we're at the same dinner table.
Yeah. It's just they treat words and sentences in a different way, I think. Than what you know, right?
Facial expressions.
Titania.
Acheron's just kind of like this, just impassive, kind of like a tired cat, just kind of watching the exchange. We'll definitely give Tia a little bit of at the Tia being like, giving Acheron, like, Acheron will just kind of raise an eyebrow a little bit. But will not make a comment. Just kind of, at the, bringing up our names, Acheron's just kind of looking at me like, what?
Oh, it's just, I didn't want to be disrespectful. I know Geneva and I were talking, and I didn't know if you wanted to contribute or, just...
Yes, as effervescent as I am.
I'm trying to be respectful of what you want. If you don't want to, if you would like to remain
I was
silent and
teasing
stoic,
you.
that is your decision.
Just teasing.
Okay.
Please. Take a breath. It's all chill. They're all... There's no boogeyman that I can see. To get used to the bad men of the world. Give like a side eye to Aaron.
Aaron is almost oblivious to the side eye. Has some.
You just have like an aversion to the concept of safety, or
Oh, sorry, you talking to me?
I mean, I'm definitely trying. Whether or not you're there enough to understand it, it's not up to me.
No, I'm not averse to danger whatsoever. It's part of who I am, so.
As if you were adverse to safety. Which,
Averse to
I guess
safety.
that answers that question.
Oh, safety and danger. Two sides of the same coin.
I mean, I guess as much as opposites are in all senses of the...
There's nothing to be worried about here. Wait until we get further inland and off the road, maybe. Then I'll start to have my eyes and ears more refined, shall we say. Right now, well, this is the easy part.
Akron's gonna take a minute to Akron doesn't make a lot of eye contact, but Akron is gonna look at Aaron's eyes now that we're all sitting a little closer. Just for a second.
Alright.
You got weird eyes, dude.
You got weird tattoos, dude.
Thank you. I chose them myself. Did you pick your eyes?
Jeez.
Do you pick yours?
No. Don't worry. At least the two of us look like freaks, so kind of it's like that.
Is there any particular reason you're so worried, Acheron? I mean, you're very capable, and you seem to have confidence in your own abilities. So, what reason do you have to be afraid in a place like this?
I mean, it's less that I'm necessarily afraid of this place and more that I am just generally cautious. I would say it's by nature, but this is learned behavior. I told you of that group home I grew up in. Let's just say that if if you weren't vigilant, you didn't make it out. So,
Because
old
of the
habits
children?
die hard. Yeah. Of many things. It was preparatory, I suppose. You know, unwanted children no one would miss. Most of us were sphere, so they tried to train us for future vocations, such as going into the military, or scribe work, or hard labor. So there was a lot of emphasis on building skills. So, and they didn't have room for everyone. So either you were good or you weren't. At a certain age, you left, but every so often, the other kids who refused or didn't learn fast enough would disappear. We were told they ran away, but no one ever heard from them again, so who's really to say? Maybe they did.
Ginevra, you recognize a little bit of what she's saying here. You're not entirely sure, but you're pretty sure that there is some kind of primary prodding school / evaluation institution that is in the church for orphans or strays. But you haven't heard of them straight up making kids disappear. That you haven't heard. But that's definitely an institution in Crowhill that the church controls. And these kids, like, usually either get, like, those who have the highest mark get recommended into the priesthood. And then you have those who goes into, like, scribe work or, you know, some kind of management or work, scribes. But then you also have, like, labor people, merchants and stuff like that, trade people. But a lot of them turn out to be laborers of different kinds. It's just an outreach orphan program.
Which I know is the orphanage like outside of the church, like the actual church in the main.
Yeah, the church
in
runs
Crowhill.
it. The church runs it. I wouldn't say it is always like church personnel on location, but the money is church money.
Okay, and those who score best get sent to the church to work for them.
Yes. Yes.
Was this just an orphanage, to your knowledge?
I mean,
Just a woman who ran it by herself, off her own back and her own generosity?
oh, it was
Or
nothing
interest?
generous. There's no generosity there. This was run by the church. Why do you think I don't like you?
Did you do well?
Do I look like I did well? Well enough that I didn't disappear.
Okay.
Did they send you to the church?
And at this point, make me a straight cunning check, Ginevra. Straight cunning.
What's
not cunning.
The mind games have begun.
Let's see if my luck comes back. Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh my god!
Whoa. Okay. With the information that is slipping out of Akron's mouth and your knowledge, your unique knowledge, a theory is starting to form in your mind from her way of dealing with threat, her fighting ability, and what she has told you about the harshness of her upbringing and being in this church institution. starting to wonder if this is an agent. Agent of the church.
Coco? Is that you? I look at her like closely.
You good?
I knew I remembered you. What did you do? What did you do, Coco?
What? Are you good? The rain gave you sickness?
Don't you
Do you
remember
want-
me?
Is this your friend?
Very good friend. I looked for your name every year. Every year they gave an update. And then one year they just... There was nothing.
Sounds
thought
like
you were
it's not
dead.
your friend.
Come
Well,
on.
I can't be that person then, because I'm clearly alive.
You really want to pretend like it's not you?
If it's not, I mean, I don't blame you. Losing a friend's very hard. I can imagine that for the friends I've lost, if I had a chance to find a stranger that reminded me of them, I'd probably latch onto it too.
Did they do this to you? And she kind of looks over your scars.
The orphanage?
The church.
I mean, I guess the church is owned by, the orphanage is owned by the church, so I guess that would be the logical conclusion. I mean, I was part of it to some extent.
After something went wrong. Not just in the orphanage. I know the church well enough to know, be able to recognize the signs of an agent, especially with that mark you guard so feverishly on the back of your neck.
What's an agent?
I understand if you want to be secretive.
Oh, trust me, Ginevra. You don't understand anything yet.
Then why don't you let me know? I'm trying to.
I mean, Akron's gonna look around the full room of people.
Mm-hmm.
Would you really like me to tell you about all the terrible things the church did to me in such a public place? I'm sure all these people would love to know just how the church treats its orphans. Don't you think? I can talk about it if you'd like. But I'm sure all these great patrons would love a story.
I want to know what happened to you when you left.
Assuming I am the person, which I'm not. What makes you think that if the church was involved, I'd trust you enough to tell you in the first place?
Because you know me.
But you're one of them, aren't you?
Is everything forgotten? Is that all you see me as now?
You wear the colors well. So, let's see. if I did have these memories because I was this person, which I'm not, what would it matter now? The church holds your leash, and a dog is loyal to those who feed it. Sorry, sunshine. Maybe I just don't trust you.
Well, you said about giving an exercise in trust.
An exercise does not involve... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I understand why you would be cautious. I truly do. I mean, if those scars are anything to go by, you don't have to tell me. I'm sorry. And honestly, no matter how much you deny it, I'm really glad you're alive.
Sure, your friend would appreciate that.
Excuse me. And she's gonna get up and go to whatever room they told her to. Her eyes a little wet.
Tanya's been listening very intently to the entire thing.
Damn, she got any food?
Huh? Was it for me?
This is what Akron says afterwards,
Sorry.
seeming unbothered.
Oh.
Sorry, and then I didn't. Sorry, my Discord is laggy as fuck. What were you saying, Lynn?
Oh, I was saying to Tanya is she like has one hand on her satchel like she's about to grab one of her notebooks and start writing. And she's just looking at you, Akron. You alright? That was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had the pleasure of sitting in on.
Poor girl. I think she's confused. I really have no idea what she's talking about. I just thought it would be fun to fuck with her.
Do I believe them?
Uh,
My composure
See if
sucks.
you roll better than Aaron does.
uh,
I have a -1 to composure.
It's
Sure.
fine.
but
Can I make a weird call and give Titania and suggest
Yeah, I
that
mean-
Titania get advantage?
I mean, you
she
can also
knows that.
decide that Titania, by this point, kind of knows your ins, like your calls, if you want it to be. It like depends upon how, if you have been a little bit dodgy with Titania as well. But if considering from what I know, like a true friendship between you two, maybe she
I
knows.
think Titania would know something's up. No, I don't think you believe me. I'm
Okay,
so
yeah.
There you go,
I don't,
there you go.
okay. Tanya doesn't believe you, and Tanya's like, okay, sounds good, and begins writing the notebook.
So did we want food or?
Sure, maybe
Yeah, dinner.
Go
would probably be
check.
good.
go check with the bar.
Let
I'm
me-
sure the innkeepers
Yeah,
are very hospitable.
they do serve food. You know, hearty soups, hearty breads. That kind of food that fills your stomach for a long travel ahead. If you would like it. Warm food
would.
does beat cold rations.
Well, as Akron goes to the bar real quick, and Aaron is sitting there with his, leaning back in the chair, and Titania is writing down. He's gonna be just staring at her, kind of quietly, and then he'll just do the whole maneuver of just shifting his weight and putting his elbows on the table and just looking over her. Well, not over her, I guess, but she's probably bent down. I don't know. She's writing.
Yeah.
He's gonna-
Like so.
Yeah. And he'll say, any mention of Aenor Balasica in that book of yours?
I'm sorry, what? both in and out of character. What?
Any mention of the name of Aenor Basilica in that book of yours?
Oh, thank you for the spelling, Bexxy. I don't think so. I don't believe I've ever heard the name before.
No, I mean, I know Basilica is the name for the church in Aino.
Oh! Aenor Basilica. Gotcha. That connection
that's
did
okay.
not go in my mind. She definitely would have heard of that before.
Yes.
Yes, actually. Why do you ask?
Just curious. What do you know about it?
What exactly do you mean? Do you mean architecture? Do you mean how they operate there? How do you mean? People? I might have some names in here. She kind of flips through another book.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you've got in your books. You always seem to have some sort of note squirreled away. Maybe just a name. Person who runs the place.
Is the person I think who probably runs this place the person who runs this place, Bexxy, GM?
Yeah. I mean, she is a cardinal.
Yeah. There's a person who operates it goes by the name of Irene. At least I know that much.
And what does this Aryan look like?
Oh God. Aspen, do we have a physical description?
Nothing ever written down, but I can tell you we decided on.
Can you I don't know. I don't think I have
You
it.
should have told me, because you kind of thought you would decide on your own. Insert.
We did.
I
You
thought
did?
we did too.
It was way a long ass time ago though. So
Oh.
Mhm.
Insert physical. You know,
insert physical
here.
description if they're here.
and then we talk about it until next session.
Elderly, kind of middle-aged elderly woman, you know? Grumpy sort. So to speak.
Alright.
Forgive me if I'm intruding, but why so curious about that place in particular? It's a mighty coincidence. I've been there many times during my times in Malgrave, so.
How many times did you say you've been there?
More than it's worth to take the time count.
I see. Can I Titania to gauge her emotional state?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
And that one, nice.
And this would be, she's trying to hide emotions. Well, yeah, so. She seems fairly comfortable from what you could tell. I'm not sure. She seems fairly comfortable.
Look, Titania, we've worked together before, right? And it was a pleasant time then. It was easy. I didn't ask questions. You didn't, do anything stupid when I mentioned not to do something stupid, and we had a good working arrangement back then, but I need to know right here and now. Is this a stupid thing that I'm doing right now? Being here with you?
Honestly, I feel stupid myself for being here. Being entirely candid, and that is why I appreciate your presence.
Who have you told about me?
just Acheron in passing, actually, and I trust them with my life. Haven't told any particular stories of our expedition, and even just Acheron is only the one who's heard your name.
I'm not the best at deceiving or trying to be anything other than who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to be all that happy if I find out that's not true.
I understand, which is why I'm glad it is true. I would tell you if I told anybody about your presence. I know you keep your discretion it's highly valued. So I wouldn't want to betray that trust that you put in me.
I have other questions, but maybe in a more secluded place.
We can talk
with a
after
bit more
dinner
time.
if you'd like.
I think we need to be a little bit more cautious about those around us. I mean, sure, okay, you've got this short one with you. I'm sure you have every faith in him, but I don't. Not yet. I know you. I don't know these other two.
I understand.
I have a lot of things to say. We know what happens when words are misused.
Right. I appreciate your caution. I need people like you and Acheron to keep me in check.
At Ginevra, she's very inquisitive.
You can say that again. I'll be candid with you as well. I have met her before, though I was hoping she didn't remember, though of course she does. But we'll see who she is now. You know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of Acheron,
Acheron is not by the bar anymore. Do you just go through the door or do you knock?
I'm just walking in.
Alright. Minerva, your door's open.
Oh, dang.
hello.
I'm gonna walk in and close it behind me as I step in, and then I'm gonna lean against the door, cross my arms.
Ginevra has recovered her composure again. She's very much always been very calm and cool, but that was a very rare break in her composure, I guess is the word. Even then, it was rather small. She kind of left the scene when it looked like it might be a bit much. So she's recovered it again.
Is there any chance at convincing you that I'm not who you think I am? Okay then, this is a different conversation. I'm gonna push off the door, but definitely still stand in front of it. So you know about the agents. That means one of two things. Either you're high enough up to be in the know, or you've met them before and they've trusted you enough to tell you. Neither of which bodes well for how much I like you today. V.
I know because I do know one. I know you. You may have never told me anything explicitly, but it was easy enough to tell that something was going on there.
But you used agent.
Isn't that what you would be called? Isn't that what you would call it?
Can I check her? See if she's playing dumb.
Oh?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I just want to see, because Acheron fully believes that she knows, but just wants to see if there's any signs of it.
Okay, then do an empathy composure, then deception or persuasion. Manipulation or presence in this case. I think it would be up to you. Jesus, with all these Are they lying and the actual lies going?
fuck.
Oh,
Hey, see, now
lot
we're
of
getting
empathy
into the
checks.
questions.
Hmm.
Yeah, you.
Can't say anything, but I don't think Akron would believe regardless. I just wanted to see if I could like tell, you know.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. As someone who's clearly you think I was part of that, do you not think that I'd be aware of how secretive it all is? Or do you take me for an idiot?
No. I'm just happy to see you, Coco. That's all. I mean, like I said, I thought you were dead.
Oh, don't worry. That person who I was is dead. And officially, I better remain that way. For your sake and mine.
Do you genuinely think that I would turn around and report you to them?
Ginevra, think about how you were dressed the first time I met you again. Think about how friendly you seemed with the bishop, cardinal, whatever the fuck she was in your little church. Why do you think that I would trust you with this kind of a thing? You belong to them now.
I think you may know as little about me now as I know you. But I would say that in many ways I'm the friend you had when you were in training.
Oh yes, my training. So yeah, cards on the table, these scars are from that. The majority. Well, almost all of them. I got these as a parting gift. Very lovely. I think they suit me well. There's a reason I wore high-necked things around you the last year we knew each other. Where do you think I got this?
That wasn't training?
Yeah. We were allowed to kill each other as long as we didn't get caught. Unfortunately for these three, they got caught. So I was allowed to live. How magnanimous of the church.
I'm so sorry.
Are you?
Of course.
We're the ones that bleed to keep your operation running. You want to talk about Rion's light? We're the ones that keep it supported. Your church would be nothing without people like me, without the shit I've gone through.
I don't doubt that at all. I'm
And
just
yet
sorry
you
you had to
still
go
support-
through it.
But you still support the church, don't you?
I support faith in something you believe in to seek a brighter future. And many of those who take the training do so willingly.
How willing do you think it is for those of us given to the church and erased from the world? Do you really think I chose this?
I don't know.
Let's put it this way. When a nothing girl in a nowhere town full of inconsequential people, so meaningless that they're allowed to die when your miracles, your health is so free. No priest came to us unless there was a mine collapse. People died of illnesses that are commonly cured elsewhere for nothing. Because we didn't fucking matter. And then I was given away with a bunch of other children and broken down and taught to be the knife in the shadows. Your better future is steeped in blood, but none of it's yours. Well, at least not yet. It's good that you know, I guess, for your own happiness. I will say you were one of the nicest people to me that I had there. But I wouldn't recommend telling anyone, regardless if you would or not. They might just kill you too.
I'm aware. And I apologize for raising it in such a populated place.
Yeah, that really wasn't smart.
Was, I guess, overtaken by the realization it's been a very long time.
That it has.
And again, you may not believe me, but I am sorry, and don't think I'm entirely naive or entirely supportive of such things. I said to Tia, I don't believe that destruction is the way to peace, but I'm still working out how to change the way things are so that not so much blood needs to run.
How much is a justifiable amount? If your better future
That's
is
what I'm trying
built
to
on
work out.
the bodies of those without a voice, maybe it's not your better future.
I think I'm working for one where people will have the choice and follow the consequences and the outcomes of the choices that they make rather than the ones that are forced on them.
It's a cute dream.
Where are you to go with that one?
I haven't had a dream ever. No, dreaming is not for those with my lot in life.
I don't believe
Fine.
that.
You're right, I had a dream once, and then she was brutally murdered for daring to want something different. So, by
Is
your
that-
church.
Her? And I point to the tattoo that has the name on it.
Yeah. She was the one with the dreams.
Is that why you left?
No. I left because what I was doing was wrong, and I didn't want to kill anymore.
But you still kill?
I try not to. Like you said, sometimes things happen.
So you have your own understanding of a justifiable amount.
Am I justified?
Killing in the name of something you believe that you wish to protect, that is precious to you.
I believe in living. I give people every chance to walk away. Sure, you're right, I'm a hypocrite, but at least my body, that's not even true. At least my body count after leaving doesn't number in the hundreds of thousands. My hands are bloody, but the church is far worse. And if you
I
don't
believe
think
that.
so, you're stupid. So,
No, I believe that.
then why are you part of it?
Because change is not as simple as pure disregard. I think there are more effective ways to change things than to have to hide constantly. Do you think that you're changing things? The
No,
way that you're living?
absolutely not.
Then there you go.
But at least I'm not supporting, the same thing.
Being a part of the church does not mean that you support everything the church does.
But you are you're literally spreading the word. You don't. Okay, missionary. Sure, preach to me about how you're not supporting the church as you actively travel to spread its word and draw people in. You're right, you're not supporting the church at all.
I support the faith, and I support there being a church for faithful to join in and to show their faith. But like I said, supporting the church does not mean that you support everything the church does.
And you tell all these people who join your church the blood price that church was built on?
I show people, I give people a chance to believe in something greater to help them in their daily lives. Faith.
Speaking of blood.
Oh, I love that sentence. That is my favorite sentence in the world.
I'm sorry.
Squeeze me.
The door to the inn is suddenly open to reveal this peasant woman in very nondescript clothing with a red stain on the middle of her stomach, and she kind of she walks into the tavern, takes several steps in, clasping her stomach with a groan. Her steps aren't in any way balanced. She's about to fall over. She's like, "Priest! I need a priest! I'm so hurt!"
Do I hear this?
Yes. It's this squeak is like shrilling.
Well,
I'm sorry, I have to go. And I kind of move past her, get to the door.
go support your blood church, priest.
I will say, as this is happening, Tia kind of begins to grasp for her spell book before
I'm coming down with.
waiting for 3 seconds just to see if Ginevra shows up.
I'm going down with Ginevra, but much slower and seeming unbothered.
She kind of faints on the floor, rolls over to her back. A bit of blood comes out of her mouth.
I'll go to her.
She sees you, and there's a bit of a light in her eyes, and she says, "Oh, the blood is gushing out of me like water."
Wait, is she actually hurt? Real quick, can I do a check? Is she actually hurt?
Yeah. Make a perception check.
What's that again? Sorry.
A perception with
perception.
intelligence. With intelligence, considering
Okay.
your skill. I'm seeing visions of a moon over an ocean.
It's a 14.
You know what? It's the middle of the night. Premonition. You get a 14 plus 4 for 18.
Oh.
18.
Considering your training, the wound is much shallower than what it seems to be, and the blood in the mouth is thick. And this woman kind of grabs your hand, Ginevra, and does a
I'm also gonna grab Ginevra's wrist.
I'm already with the woman.
I'm right behind you.
No,
Draws
you're going
a-
slower than me.
draws
Sorry,
a-
I was rushing down.
draws a half circle in your palm with her thumb.
Fucking. Can I throw something at her?
Shower me!
Thing to me.
Shower me with Rion's breath!
You over this woman.
I'm just trying to knock you over.
Let Rion's water of purified healing wash over me, priest!
Alright.
It's
Sorry,
entirely dramatic.
No! Don't!
And kinda leans up and says, "Let me whisper something in your ear before I die."
She's gonna kill you! It's fake! This is being shouted, actually.
I'm leaning in.
Shouting out?
This is in character
Alright.
shouting. I'm just not gonna actually
okay.
shout.
And you hear,
Titania
Take-
stands on the table and backs away to Akron's side.
"Take me motherfucking upstairs, Ginevra, now! Oh, the pain is unbearable!"
You're a terrible actress. You should get better training.
I'm dying! To Aaron and say, quick, help me! I need to take her upstairs to help
You
her.
can walk.
Quick.
Are you fucking stupid, Ginevra?
She can, like, given the amount of carnage Aaron has seen and, like, the amount of wartime stuff, is this obvious? Like, this seems exceptionally obvious to him. Like, this is just, like, theatrics and, like, over the top kind of.
Yeah, it's a little bit over the top, yeah, definitely. But all the patrons in here, you know, a little bit confused, but they actually believe what's going on right here for now.
I'll try and hoist her up onto my shoulder.
Yeah, and
her arm over my shoulder.
there's
No,
less.
I'll rush to her. Like, I'll get to her more, like, less active, less, like, dramatic. Just be like, sure. Just, like, go up underneath her other arm. Yeah.
So everyone says.
And then you head upstairs to your room with the woman, Ginevra.
I'm following.
Tanya looks to Akron and says, "Are we following?"
Oh yeah.
Okay. And
I can take this woman.
goes up with you.
That's what Akron says. Oh yeah, I can take this woman, and then we follow as well.
Oh, bless you, priest, for doing this. Oh, but do not bear my stomach in the company of others. Give me privacy.
Sorry, lady,
Okay,
that's not.
I just say, please, just leave us. And
No.
why not?
Are you not paying attention the entire last conversation we had? 3 words.
She's bleeding.
Or,
Doesn't seem to be that bad if I'm taking a quick look at her.
well, then maybe you'll need extra help. I mean, what if it gets too much and one of us has to run out to get more people to help? Right?
I mean, I'm trying to see to her, right? I'll put her on the bed.
If you don't give me privacy, I will inform the Strasser.
Oh no.
Look, Ginevra, look, I don't know who this person is, but if you feel like you want to take care of this person, like, I'm here to protect you and Tia. I'm not here to protect her. And look at Acheron and say, I'm here to protect her. And you'll walk downstairs.
No.
Titania is just, like, in the opposite corner of the room from the bed looking at this woman. Just hand on satchel, just staring her down.
I'll look at Titania and just say, it's all right. Trust me. Can you please?
This has the classic characteristics of a con. You know what? I'll leave Akron with you. Their bodyguard. I hope you feel better soon, miss. And she exits the room.
The pain!
Looking at Akron like, please stay.
Yeah. Akron just looks at, as soon as Tia's like gone and the door shut, Akron looks at Ginevra and goes, you really should have kept it a secret. Cards on the table means I don't have to pretend.
Don't you think that if this was the church, it would be a lot better than this?
No.
Truly?
It depends on the branch of the church. Some of us, maybe.
I'm right here.
Poor baby. That's very unfortunate. Can't imagine that pain. You better help her. Looks like it's getting worse. I mean, she should be bleeding out with that much blood.
Okay, listen here, you little shit.
Oh, there we go. Hi. Yes.
Acheron! We know a lot about you, so leave the fuck now.
Do I believe this person?
I mean, I can't really, you know, simulate it, but a man's voice just came out of a woman.
Do I believe this person?
Feels out. Yeah.
I mean, beforehand it was like over the top acting in this shrill voice.
Well, I know. I mean, I think this guy was like, well, the thing is, Tia said my name in this room, so him being like, I know your identity really doesn't faze me. He could have learned it 2 seconds ago, so. Do I believe him? You know what? Actually, I don't think it matters because Ginevra knows a lot about me, so all the risk is already laid out there. So.
Yeah. Akron, if I was going to say anything about you, I only realized who you were literally 10 minutes ago. Just relax. You would
The
be
more
able to
we
tell,
would
would you not, if this was something from the church?
Who else
Honestly.
are you involved with?
I just need you to give me the benefit of the doubt in this case. I'll be able to explain later.
Fine, it's a knife in your back if you don't.
I know.
And I mean that. And then Akron will walk
I know.
out. But not like just beyond the door. Akron's waiting on the other side of the door and yeah.
I'll turn back to the woman man and say, could you have been any less convincing?
I'm terribly sorry, but I was the only one available. Now, I actually did stab myself, so a little bit of healing would actually be helpful.
What did you want to say?
We know. Let everybody else. Can you mute everything for a second?
Oh,
Mute. No, you can't hear. You can't hear nothing. Nothing.
You can server mute us, you know.
Oh yeah. No, I will give you a thumbs up when you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Perfect. Good. Good. Good.
So much going on with the fire.
Well, you perform the healing, and he kind of stands up and dusts himself off a little bit, looks down at his chest, and
Next
like,
time, maybe a bit more, you know, incognito, undercover would be a better route than gaining the entire attention of everyone in the tavern. If discretion is what you want.
yeah, well, you are being watched. If you didn't know.
I do know.
Yeah, I had to
I've
come
been
in
told
with some
multiple
kind
times.
of. I had to come in with some kind of, you know, disguise of some sort, so we could have this private meeting. Didn't know it was gonna be so irritating with that paranoid little person. Is it a boy or is it a girl?
Doesn't matter.
Well, doesn't matter with me either today, huh?
But just for future, if someone is watching, again, keeping things, you know, on a lower level stops you from drawing attention. You know, you can just approach me at the bar or, you know, that kind of thing.
I literally had 5 minutes to come up with this plan to catch up with you. I'm very sorry. Anyway,
One sec. Sorry. Give you a little bit of light.
so it's come to our attention that you might have been contacted with the more unsavory parts of the church.
Yes.
What do they
Those
want?
who are
I'm
watching
surprised
me, yes.
I'm surprised you're alive. I mean, if they would meet you, we would presume that you're, you know. But they wanted something else. Questions?
Are there like windows to this room.
Yes, there's a window outside. But he's trying to talk in a very low tone with you, and like
Yeah,
huddle
and
furthest away from the door.
And as I like continue to kind of act to see to the wounds, I'll have my back to the window.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah. You could probably be covered in if you want to.
Yeah, but I want it to look natural, like it's just.
Yeah. Cover
I'm
it a
not
little
trying
bit.
to, cover it up, but it just naturally. You can't see us.
Smart.
speaking. Yes. They want me to set up a trap for another in my party. Well, they've technically already set up a trap. They just want me to bring one of my party to the trap.
So, Titania is more foolish than we thought? Or is there something else?
No, this is something more extreme. There may be an actual... Do I know the term? Or
No.
do I only know
No.
it by
But-
devil?
You only know it by devil, sure.
Okay.
But you might not use the word devil. You might have said,
Yeah.
like, other, perhaps?
Yeah. Then I'll say
Non-human?
with quotation marks, devil.
What?
Again, in front of me, so it's not going to the window.
Yeah. What? Really?
That's what
Real
they seem to
devil?
believe.
Have you confirmed?
I think I'm almost certain.
That's... Wow. Was the man, the Carrie? The
Was she
devil
not?
touched me. Exciting.
You speak of it as if it's not just like us, but different.
Yeah, but there's so many things we don't know, right? That's why it's so exciting. So you're going to lure him into a trap for the church.
Mm.
When and how?
Yes, and they did the circle thing in my hand.
Yeah,
right?
the half circle in your hand.
Yeah.
Like water
Do I?
gushing.
Yeah,
ocean,
exactly. That's what I was
moon.
like, oh, great. And do I recognize this person? Do I actually know this person?
No,
Okay.
no.
But I can be fairly sure that they are actually.
I mean, they gave you all the code words and they're
Oh,
pretty.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
But
the
you do
plans-
know this is not makeup. This is like a man's voice in a woman's body.
Okay. Yeah. So the plan is to go to. I'll try to remember the name of the place. Spruce
Cross.
Crossing. I have so many things open right now. So that's for my very long list of notes. To the Spruce Cross, the Broad Tankard Inn. Stop for the night there, and that's where I think they plan to do whatever they're planning to do. But if something were to happen that would make him aware of their presence, I would light a candle in the window.
Yeah, but
I'm
that means they
still-
will contact you again and try to lure him into another kind of trap. Maybe a more overt one.
Mm.
Well, obviously, we cannot let them kill him because we have so many questions for him. But
Yes.
we cannot.
He's quite understandably quiet and
Well, it's gonna survive this long.
somewhat unwilling to share information. I think he would be one who is slow to trust.
Okay. So how are
What do you
we
suggest?
going to stop the trap and keep your identity intact? Your cover intact?
If the agents, by some way, were made aware or made themselves visible, I guess. So it would be something that they were in the wrong. They messed up and then made themselves visible. That would at least buy us some time.
It's only me in the area. We don't have too many operatives up here because it's, it's not really our corner. I'm only here to oversee the whole Raven War situation on the crown side.
Well, it will take a week to get there. I was hoping I would come up with something in that time. I'm still trying to work them out.
And what about this other two? I mean,
I think they would be very amenable to our cause.
yes,
One of
I
them
was.
certainly does not like the fact that I am affiliated with the church.
We both. Well, we know that they're not affiliated with the church. That we know, and that they have some. Let us say, passionate opinions about it. So,
Titania especially is voiced very similar feelings to our own of freedom to practice and follow one's own spiritual traditions.
the higher up sent me, or sent you, a question of if you feel like you can trust them. The question is, should you bring them into the fold? That might be allies.
I think it could be. I'm still not. There's still time. I need to fully. There's still secrets that they're hiding, and I want to fully have all cards on the table before I lay my own. If you understand. But I believe it could head that way. Though honestly, I don't know whether Acheron would believe me if I told her I was a part of this. I mean, she's very paranoid as it is. And
Well, I am a little bit of a
I'm sure
proof
she would
by
think-
now, am I not? I will also be following you. They told me to support you. But I cannot go over the mountain chain. I can turn into anybody you see on the street. So if you hear somebody mentioning in the water in a suspicious way, it's me.
Alright. That's a much better way to go about.
Yes, well, I
Telling
needed
me
to
you're
establish
here.
contact in some way, and it's not usually what I do. I'm more of an information gatherer than a contactor. But
Yeah.
you've noticed
worth
by
working
now
on.
it's a little bit, how to say,
I mean, honestly, I probably now my deadline for working out whether they can be trusted with the information has been shortened because they're going to be very much asking me exactly what I was talking about in here with you.
yes, it might be better to do that anyway. They have probably secrets they don't want to tell the church anyway, so what does it hurt at this point, I guess?
But yes, I'm
Yes.
still not certain that Akron would believe me, but we have time, I guess.
Yes.
What a mess.
I will try to stay in the inns that you stay in, or the villages that you stay in, and make myself known to you every evening in some way, but with a different face. Just so you know.
Yes. And preferably without coming into direct contact with me.
Oh, I shall try. Yes, and you think about it, what to do, because we need this man alive. If we could bring him to Nudencia, Ginevra. Oh my. Yes.
I guess that's up to him.
Now I shall leave a happily healed woman.
Yeah, maybe just a small small amble. Don't be skipping.
No. And, no, absolutely no. I will be so grateful. Oh! Yep,
Safe travels.
I'm doing thumbs up to the chat. Hello! The chat was... Guys! I'm doing the thumbs up! I'm doing the thumbs up!
We're back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah. This is the thumbs up. Yes. 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 Oh my god. From the door, from basically muffled silence, you hear from outside it. Thank you so much for healing me, priestess.
That's what I do.
I couldn't be more grateful.
May I go into the room
Uh-huh.
with a knife out?
Yeah.
He said he knew a lot about me. That's some dangerous shit. You spoke wrong, my guy. So I'm gonna go in with a knife out and just be like, just so you know, casually, and just be like, that's so good. You said you knew a lot about me.
Oh, that's a knife. Oh, that's a vicious knife. Oh, that's cute. Okay. I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
I will stand in front of the door with the knife.
Acheron, just
Some help.
honestly, it's better if you don't make a scene with this. Trust me.
Alright, as long as this person knows that if someone finds out about me, it's your head. I guess your throat. Maybe your stomach. And everyone's gonna look at the guy and give him a shrug and let him leave.
The guy looks, the girl looks visibly pale and like swallows a little bit. Nice meeting you. Stumbles down the stairs. Stumbles down the stairs a little bit and like talks to the patrons down below. You hear the shield voice. Oh, she's so good at what she does. Look at me. All healed up again. Oh boys, I need to leave.
Whoever the fuck that was, they sucked. They didn't have
Tanya just watches the guy leave.
Aaron will go outside with, follow outside.
Okay.
Dude, how do you want to cover this?
Let's do Aaron outside first. You see the woman just leave and walk up to a horse and start to mount it.
So he's just gonna watch, and because he can see in the dark, he can see a lot more.
Sits up in the saddle with practice movements. Trots past you, notices you because of not having dark vision. Reins in the horse, looks down upon you, and says, "It's an absolute honor, sir. I hope to see more of you in the future. Good luck, stay alive." With a man's voice, and then, yeah, and then runs off.
What?
Just check the direction.
Traveling north.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
I'll go back inside.
Titania, what's you?
All right, so scene upstairs in Ginevra's room.
Can we save this for next session?
Oh yes,
It's getting
a time,
pretty late and
a time. All right, we'll
I
save.
all of this when I'm in my least awake state is a mess.
So next time we're gonna pick up in the very the knife-wielding Acheron staring down the very nervous Ginevra and a confused Titania in
I'm
the
not
corner.
nervous.
I mean, the knife's mostly for show. I could definitely murder Ginevra with just my hands, so.
She's not nervous. She knows Coco.
All right,
She's
okay,
not afraid.
all right, okay.
Bold.
Well, there we go. That's tonight's session. Woo!
Woo.
Wow, that was like so low tension, guys.
Oh, that was the best. That was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was good. That was a good one.